one of those sweet documentaries that we all put on here, and then we'll jump into space news. We deliver? We could do that. Laza, thank you for the good times. Of course. Yeah, Tamik, I got you. We just got to make sure this doesn't have the crappy audio.
And Columbia, Houston, everyone.
We're good. All right. Sweet. So I'm going to go into the space and rocket review. Once again, guys, we'll do some space news here. The Kerbal Food Program is basically for the rest of this stream. So you want to help No Kid Hungry, and you want to help Private Division with this charity fundraiser called Kerbal Food Program to make sure that kids have access to good meals. Yeah, we're doing that for the rest of the stream. I'm going to go on break. I'm going to go grab something to eat. I will be right back. I need to do a second break here if we're going to stream the whole damn day. So let's jump into EJ's Space and Rocket Review. And then we'll put on We Deliver. No EJ hungry. EJ's going to get food. Yep. I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay, the port restraint is out. Here comes the spin. Here it goes.
Yeah, we see it down here, Bill. It's beautiful.
Okay, Mike, we're at 52, coming back down to 51 RPM.
Roger, we copy. You guys look good. And Columbia, Houston, everyone down here is go for deploy with 2 minutes left over Hawaii.
And so is everyone up here.
Roger, we copy.
Mike, we hope the TV comes out. It doesn't play back very well on a monitor, but we're relatively sure we got it. And we, by the way, still have that beautiful satellite inside. It's traveling just below it.
Roger, we copy, Bill and Joe, and got a lot of happy people down here. You guys did good work.
Okay, Mike, we delivered. We got SBS off on time. And if you're interested, I'll read you the pad.
Roger, go ahead. Discovery, go and throttle.
Deliver the crew of Shuttle Mission 5 did. Only 8 hours into the first operational flight of the Space Shuttle program. 5th flight of the orbiter Columbia. The first 4 missions were test flights to prove the space transportation system could provide access to low Earth orbit on a routine basis. Those missions laid the groundwork for the operational era. Shuttle Flight 5 was the beginning of that era. The primary purpose of the mission, to carry 2 communication satellites into orbit, deploy them from the payload bay, then return to Earth.
Columbia, Houston, 30 seconds till LOS, and everything is still go down here for deploy.
Roger, Brian, we copy that. Thank you very much. We're looking forward to having a good one.
Roger, and good luck.
Okay, Houston, this is Columbia. We are 2 for 2. We deliver. Roy, are we down now? That was, are we on the ground?
Absolutely.
A flawless landing, only minutes after sunrise at Edwards Air Force Base, California, ended Columbia's 5th mission. Looking slightly weathered, the orbiter had traveled over 10.5 million miles in 5 flights, spent 24 days on orbit, and circled the Earth almost 400 times. It would now return to Kennedy Space Center, Florida, for refurbishment, to be launched again on Shuttle Flight 9. The newest orbiter in NASA's fleet, Challenger, would fly on Shuttle Flight 6. Many weight-saving improvements had been made. The orbiter itself was almost 2,500 pounds lighter because of structural changes. The external tank weighed 10,000 pounds less than the one used on Shuttle Flight 1. The solid rocket boosters were almost 4,000 pounds lighter. The 3 main engines were upgraded to 104% of rated thrust. A blanket-like thermal material replaced 600 thermal tiles in non-critical areas. And all 30,000 tiles were densified to improve their durability. This stack could carry over 17,000 pounds more into orbit than Columbia.
Minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. We'll go for main engine ignition. 7, 6. We have main engine ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of the Orbiter Challenger and the 6th flight of the Space Shuttle. The shuttle has cleared the tower.
Challenger's underway. We got a whole program.
Houston copies, Challenger. And some late news for you, Story. We got a go for deploy. We have a go for deploy.
On Shuttle Flight 6, Challenger's cargo, the tracking and data relay satellite, TDRS, and its solid propellant inertial upper stage rocket, the IUS, weighed almost 19 tons. TDRS was the largest, most advanced communication satellite launched to date,
That is correct.
a major accomplishment in space communications. TDRS is launched from the payload bay by ejection springs, released when explosive bolts are fired. After shuttle moves a safe distance away, the first stage of the IUS rocket fires to boost the satellite from 150 miles to 22,300 miles in altitude. Then the first stage separates. Shortly thereafter, the second stage of the IUS rocket fires to circularize the satellite's orbit. Solar panels and antennas are deployed to provide power and tracking and data relay capability. Having attained a circularized altitude of 22,300 miles and traveling at the same speed as the Earth's rotation, the satellite will remain fixed in orbit over the same location continuously. Later, the first TDRS will be joined by 2 more identical satellites. The 3 will form a space communications network, providing almost continuous coverage to Earth-orbiting spacecraft, not the 15% ground stations provide. The network will be able to track 26 Earth-orbiting spacecraft simultaneously. And because TDRS satellites only relay data, they do not process it, 20 times more information will be handled by this network than could be by ground stations. All data will be relayed directly to the primary NASA ground terminal, White Sands, New Mexico, and from there via domestic satellite to other NASA centers.
Hello there, we're with you over...
Launch of TDRS was on time and nominal. First stage firing of the inertial upper stage also went well.
And Sunnyvale and White Sands send you a special attaboy.
However, halfway through the second stage firing, ground controllers lost communication with the satellite. It was an hour before even intermittent signals were picked up. They indicated TDRS had not yet separated from the IUS, and that both were tumbling at a very high rate of speed. Receiving only intermittent signals from TDRS, using short-life batteries which would soon be depleted, and getting no response to signals sent from the ground, made the outlook for TDRS bleak. Several more hours passed, and then something remarkable happened. Experts still aren't sure why, but either an automatic timing mechanism was engaged, or onboard systems finally acknowledged repeated commands from the ground, separating TDRS from the IUS.
Well, I do have some words.
Now on its own, the satellite stopped tumbling. Ground controllers commanded deployment of the solar array and antennas. However, they quickly learned TDRS was way off course and drifting farther every day. Their only hope of getting it back on course was to use the tiny hydrazine thrusters originally designed for minor attitude and velocity adjustments, not for boosting the 2.5-ton TDRS over 8,500 miles farther into space. But at least the satellite was not lost. NASA officials immediately put their plan into effect. Meanwhile, Shuttle Flight 6 continued as planned.
Okay, we're back with you, Mila, for about 12 more minutes. Got a good TV picture again.
Roger, Houston. Got the hatch closed, and we're waiting for a go for depress on time.
That sounds great, Bo.
Copy, we have a go for depress on time.
That's affirmative. You have a go. And Challenger, Houston's with you over Guam for about 7.5 minutes.
Roger, hatch is open. Easy 1 is halfway out. They're configuring the airlock. Get ready for Dawn to come out.
Okay, we're watching.
Houston, they have a suggested setting for the DAC camera now in the sunlight. Okay, Dawn.
This was America's first spacewalk in 9 years. The astronauts were attached by safety tethers to slide wires running just inside the payload bay. They wore a new design in spacesuits, also called extravehicular mobility units. A portable life support system was worn on the back, eliminating the need for a lifeline connected to the orbiter. These suits are not custom built for each astronaut. Tops and bottoms of different sizes can be mixed. They are also more flexible than previous spacesuits. The crew removed tools from a storage locker in the front part of the payload bay.
Hooked on the door here, Connie. Want me just to leave it there? That's the inner hatch. I think it's a fine place to leave it. All right, I shall.
Then moved aft again. Using a cable run through a winch mounted on the bulkhead, then tied to the cradle that had held the IUS, the astronauts demonstrated they could have lowered the cradle manually had commands from on board failed.
There is Velcro here over the outer hatch. Here's what I'm going to do, Story. Velcro in the inner hatch over there. The Velcro, I'm afraid I'll kick it loose.
Winch operations were tested on the front bulkhead using an Exergenie as a load to see how many pounds the winch and line could handle.
The back pocket. Okay, I'll try that.
Lastly, the tools were restowed, and the astronauts re-entered the spacecraft.
Indian Ocean for 2.5.
Perhaps the most visually spectacular mission since America's first landing on the moon, Shuttle Flight 7 gave us our first glimpse of the orbiter from a distance.
Another space first.
John, we have had one more
Thank you.
The magnificent views were provided by a European payload called SPAS.
We switched over to view looking at SPAS.
We copy.
Roger that.
SPAS is an acronym for Shuttle Pallet Satellite, a unique, reusable space platform built by the West German aerospace company Messerschmitt Balkov Blom, with generous financial assistance from the West German Federal Ministry of Research and Technology.
Best wishes to those folks from MBB who built this spacecraft. It's a real
In addition to having American television and film cameras mounted on SPAS, 10 experiments belonging to the West German government, the European Space Agency, and NASA were on the platform. MBB wanted to validate the satellite's design and prove experiments could be operated while SPAS was free-flying. NASA wanted to show the remote manipulator system could handle the 2.5-ton payload.
And TJ, we just turned on the mass spec to warm it up. I assume that you wanted us to do that.
Affirmative, Sally. Thank you.
Okay, TJ, we're with you, and John performed a beautiful release.
Wonderful, wonderful.
The orbiter's ability to station keep with SPAS was also demonstrated. At this point, they are 1,000 feet apart. Here, SPAS and Challenger are 200 feet apart. Thrusters on board the orbiter were fired to record the effect on SPAS.
I could not get the SPAS right now.
SPAS was rebirthed for return to Earth.
They sure are nice. I've been told that some crews in the past have announced that we deliver. Well, from Flight 7, we pick up and deliver.
We certainly hope so.
The remark by Shuttle Flight 7's commander meant not only had the SPAS operation been successful, but that the crew also deployed 2 communication satellites. A Canadian satellite to be used for one of the world's first direct-to-home pay TV services, and an Indonesian satellite. It would increase high-speed data transmission and telecommunications service to that country's remote island locations.
Roger, the weather at KSC is getting worse instead of getting better, so it looks like we're a no-go for KSC.
Shuttle Flight 7 was to be the first landing of an orbiter at Kennedy Space Center, Florida. But bad weather conditions did not allow it. Challenger would touch down instead at Edwards Air Force Base, California, the alternate landing site.
Roger.
During the period of communications blackout, usually lasting about 15 minutes, temperatures on the vehicle's surface reach their peak. The temperature of the red-hot glow seen through Challenger's front windows was about 2,400 degrees Fahrenheit. One astronaut described the view as like being inside a furnace.
Processing Western Test Range data.
Houston, Challenger, loud and clear. Nice and smooth all the way down.
Real good, Crip.
Been running about 5 to 7 tenths aileron trim on the right.
Roger, we see that.
I'll say once more, we're way to come to California.
Roger that. Challenger, Houston, rolling on off the hack. Your energy looks good. Surface wind 180 at 10.
Challenger is. We'll stop.
Roger, we see that. Congratulations, a great looking landing.
Roger that.
Approximately 2 months after TDRS was first launched from Shuttle's cargo bay on Flight 6, the final firing needed to place the satellite in its correct orbit was executed.
Copy. Go ahead for the burns.
Personnel began immediately to check out communication systems on board and initiate a series of important ground tests with the satellite essential to its operation on upcoming shuttle flights.
Processing TDRS.
First use of TDRS with Shuttle was on Mission 8.
Challenger Houston with you on TDRS.
Houston, Challenger, loud and clear. How do you read a CDR?
Roger, loud and clear also.
Challenger, this is Houston with you through Hawaii for 7
Also
minutes.
conducted on Shuttle Flight 8 was checkout of the remote manipulator system and payload flight test article.
You're loud and clear too, Dale, and looks like you're right on schedule.
The 8,500-pound structure was the heaviest object lifted by the arm to date, more than double the weight of any previous payload. Data gathered during the checkout was used to plan the Solar Max repair mission. On that flight, a 20,000-pound payload would be deployed, and an orbiting satellite would be retrieved.
At 0008.
Roger, Houston, we're ready to deploy it.
That's good news.
Flight 8 marked the 6th successful launch of a satellite by shuttle.
40 up here.
It was an Indian communications satellite which would bring telecommunications, television, and badly needed weather information to remote areas of that country.
That Intersat was deployed on time.
Because Challenger was launched at night on Shuttle Flight 8, parts of the southern hemisphere never seen or photographed from space were visible during daylight hours. The first night landing for the Space Shuttle program occurred on Mission 8 with safe touchdown of Challenger at Edwards Air Force Base, California. After making its first voyage into space on Shuttle Flight 4, the Continuous Flow Electrophoresis System, CEPHAS, flew again on Shuttle Flights 6, 7, and 8. The device is a prototype of a production unit to purify material for the treatment of disease. It was built by McDonnell Douglas Corporation and flown on Shuttle as part of a joint agreement between NASA, McDonnell Douglas Corporation, and Ortho Pharmaceuticals Corporation, a subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson.
Challenger Houston.
Combined results from Flight 6 and 7 demonstrated that CEPHAS could separate over 700 times more material, and in purities 4 times higher than could be achieved in Earth's gravity.
Go ahead.
Shuttle Flight 8 was the first use of CEPHAS to separate living cells. Some of the samples were separated to continue research at Pennsylvania State University and Johnson Space Center, Texas. The McDonnell Douglas samples were used to further diabetes research at Washington University Medical School, Missouri. Other scientific activity conducted on Shuttle Flights 5 through 8 also focused, as the CEPHAS had, on research and materials processing, greatly enhanced when performed in the weightlessness of space. The monodisperse latex reactor flown on Shuttle Flights 3 and 4 flew again on missions 6 and 7 in a continuing attempt to improve the production of polystyrene latex microspheres for cancer research and treatment and glaucoma research. 5 student experiments flew on the 4 shuttle flights as part of an annual science competition co-sponsored by NASA and the National Science Teachers Association. Studies ranged from fluid convection to sponge and crystal growth to biofeedback. A total of 23 Getaway Special canisters were flown on shuttle flights 5, 6, 7, and 8. Some contained stamped envelopes from the U.S. Post Office commemorating spaceflight. Others grew snow, exposed seeds to zero gravity, and studied the effects of weightlessness on a colony of ants. NASA's Getaway Special program is a unique opportunity to fly small, self-contained payloads onboard shuttle on a space-available basis at a very low cost. Perhaps the studies with the most human interest were those done on space adaptation syndrome, also known as space motion sickness, a malady which affects approximately half of all astronauts. The most extensive studies of SAS were done on Flight 8, focusing primarily on the neurological system. Oral sensitivity was tested, eye movements, and repeated physical motion. Measurements were taken of limb volume and external tissue pressure. If any of these tests looked torturous, it's no wonder the crew dubbed the doctor's mid-deck working area a chamber of horrors, and mockingly gave him a taste of his own medicine. Astronaut crews got along exceedingly well with each other on missions 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yet they were the largest, most diverse crews in the history of spaceflight. Flight 5 carried the first 4-person crew. Flight 6, calling themselves the Over-the-Hill Gang, tallied up all their years of experience to get this grand total. Flight 7 carried the first 5-person crew, including the first American woman to fly in space, Sally Ride. Flight 8 included the first black American to fly in space, Guyanne Bluford. And the oldest person to fly in space to date, Dr. William Thornton. With ejection seats gone from the flight deck, and water storage tanks and instrumentation gone from the middeck, there was much more room to accommodate the larger crews. There was also opportunity for privacy, exercise, and as usual on any important trip, plenty of food. The success of Flights 5, 6, 7, and 8 represented many accomplishments for the Space Shuttle program. More importantly, the missions proved the operational capability of the space transportation system, that useful work can be done in space for the benefit of people on Earth. But the program has really just begun. Third orbiter in the shuttle fleet, Discovery, will be launched in 1984. The fourth orbiter, Atlantis, will be ready for use in 1985. New astronauts are being recruited. 73 shuttle flights are scheduled through 1988. The outlook for the future of America's space shuttle program is excellent, and there appears to be no end in sight.
Ah. Yeah, the ending of We Deliver sucks. What they say. Really wish YouTube didn't do that. There we go. The line about the Southern Hemisphere really put things into perspective. Shuttle was going into regular operations, and we haven't even documented the whole globe from space. Also, I made a connection when watching the beginning of that video. Do you remember what Fohammer said when dropping off Wardog after clearing the beach? I mean, it's probably unrelated. You know our motto. We deliver. Of course, man. So the mouses are still doing this thing where they just decide to not work for a little while. Like, yeah, that's good. Did they ever have like a mission extension thing for Shuttle, and how long did they stay up there with it? Yeah, Thomas, yeah, I can't click on it, dude. It won't let me. It won't, seriously. The left mouse won't go off the... My main mouse won't go to the other monitor, and the mouse that's over on the other monitor is lagging. The mouse that's locally connected to that computer. Restart the PC. Restart Synergy, maybe. It's something... Synergy is not playing nice with my network right now. I'll try to disable it if I can figure it out. We'll get into space news in a moment. Anyway. Yep, that... Well, I disabled it, and now the mouses work. It's still lagging. Synergy is disabled. Sort of space related. Okay. Put an egg in to seal it. It's not a radiator. Oh, there you go. Yeah. T-Man, give me a second. This is... I can't... I cannot work with these kind of conditions. Dude, keyboard input? All right, here, Windows key. Oh, there we go. All right. Let's try that. So, T-Man, yeah, they had the shuttle. The shuttle in the later parts of the program could stay up there for a little over 2 weeks. I think 17 days is the longest time it could stay up there. So, when it was doing that, it would carry what's called an EDO, or Extended Duration Orbiter Pallet. The EDO just literally went into the back of the shuttle's payload bay, and it's more fuel for the fuel cell and more oxygen for the shuttle. So the shuttle could stay up there for a good period of time. There was one EDO made, and it was on Columbia. Yeah. So, yeah, that didn't... Yeah, that's not a thing no more. Okay, it looks like everything is working fine now. So let me start transferring links over for space news. Also, we are still going with the Kerbal Food Program thing. Kerbal Food Program. Kerbal Food Program, where we It's a charity fundraiser that Private Division is doing that I'm helping out with. And it benefits the nonprofit called No Kid Hungry, which helps kids make sure they have food to eat. You know, because Jeb has to have snacks. Jeb has to have snacks. So does little Jeb. That's important. This is important. So, okay. It's a charity fundraiser that Private Division has thrown support behind is probably a better way to say it. Yep. Last link. Look at the parts. Oh, yeah. No, I know, dude. Yeah, the new Mark III looks amazing. It looks ridiculous. In a good way. I'm hoping for Mark IV parts. Somebody made a typo.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade
Thanks,
and
Jam.
do the other things.
Appreciate it, dude. Yeah, we'll keep going with that for a good while. I was not here for so long. Something came to me. Where's your hat? It was canon, man. The hat is a must. This right here. That one?
We choose to go to the moon in this
Hey,
decade
Marrakesh.
and do the other
Thanks,
things.
man. The hat's right here. There we go. The blue one needs to be washed, though. It's definitely getting a little dirty. All right, so, but it's kind of weird wearing double worm logo. I try to never do that. I try to never have worm and worm. You know what I'm saying? Try to never have worm on worm action here. That's strange. Okay. All right. Need a SpaceX hat? My SpaceX hat got wrecked, and I haven't been down to the Cape and gotten one since. It got wrecked from me wearing it too much. All right. So, I'd like to. So, okay, just you got some pics of this nice craft. Oh. Yeah, you know what? We can start there. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I don't hate that. I like that one. That goes faster. I did goalie in Utah, yep. Edwards. Oh, man. Why'd we stop flying? It's so stupid. Ooh, what do we have here? Nice, nice, very nice, nice, nice. Global Hawks, Gulfstream 2, another Gulfstream, 747 SCA, and OV 105. Very nice. Yep, those are cool pictures, man. Another cool picture here is from ABL. Check this out. They got their second rocket ready to go, even though their first one hasn't launched just yet. But man, that's pretty neat. Can you please speed up the Finnish F-35 order? Oh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get right on that. All right. So, let's see what we got here. There's a little bit of space news. Just a little bit. Here. You might like this. But the big news is KSP. I gotta go over it again, man. We gotta watch it again, dude. It's so cool. Yeah, Vetsak. Yeah, no. Yeah. Yeah. But here, look at this. Bum, 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 bum. Is that nuts? Now watch them destack it again. Yep. Nice animation. Yeah.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Hey, Barkwell, 71 months. Dum 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 dum. So this is coming from SpaceX from stacking operations the other day. That's cool. You see them, you can see it in fast motion. You see them align everything. See it? Ready? That's pretty freaking cool, man. Ready to know life KSP2 for the next 5 years? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm worried. I'm really, really worried, Sup. I'm really worried, man. It's gonna suck. But it's so not. It's gonna be amazing. Oh boy. You know what? We're watching it again. We also have actually the update, Satisfactory Update 7's coming out too. We can watch that after that while we're watching trailers for new games. Here you go.
For us, failure is not only an option, it's like absolutely mandatory, right? It's the way that we learn and evolve.
Yeah, I know.
One of the things I'm excited about with early access is it kind of makes everything feel a little more Kerbal in the sense that we're gonna get some things wrong. We're gonna make some assumptions that are incorrect. We're gonna fail out loud. Like there's nothing more Kerbal than that, actually. I mean, this has been my entire life for years now. We originally announced that we were going to release this game in 2020, and here we are coming up on 2023, and it's still not out. I feel like I've been sitting on a secret in a way. I cannot wait to experience this with other people, and I'm looking forward to letting the game speak for itself. If you have any tendency toward perfectionism, this job is not for you. There is no one person who can encompass in their mind everything that this game is and everything that this game does. At the very beginning of this, I had it all written out. I knew exactly what this game was going to be, and it's blossomed. It's become something
We opened up the side
bigger
by
than
side.
any one person on the team.
Because the mouse lag.
Going into early access, we have the opportunity to make this game amazing with our community, not just for our community. Each update is kind of like a little present. As a community, we get to unwrap this present together with all the new features and all the new things to explore.
Kerbal Space Program 1 was an early access game even before early access was a thing. There was a moment when we were about to release on Steam and we had to just hit the brakes full stop because we were wondering if people were going to be annoyed that we were giving them an incomplete game. I mean, there was no shame in it. We knew it was incomplete, we knew it was in development, and that's how early access as we know it came to be. Kerbal Space Program 1 would definitely be a very different game if it had not been an early access game. Feedback from the community was invaluable, and it helped shape the game as it is today.
We're thinking of early access in a kind of total way. First, completing the foundation, validating the foundation through community interaction, and then building successive new floors on top of that foundation. New celestial bodies, new star systems, colonies, interstellar travel, multiplayer, all of that stuff needs to be layered in on top of those core features that we want to get in front of people as soon as we can. I cannot overstate how important it is for me to just hear what people think about this thing we're creating. We've been working in a vacuum, it's a space joke, for quite a while. This is a rare opportunity to actually find out how we've been doing.
Early access means that you have the ability to have a dialogue with the development team and to shape the future of the game.
Much of what's in place on day one for KSP2 is that huge, massive technology beneath the surface that's there to support these new features that are coming down the road, like multiplayer, like interstellar, like colonies. Here are the aspects of the new game that I think are going to be most obviously improved. You're going to be able to make vehicles that are very different from the vehicles you can make in KSP1 and a lot more tunable in terms of their shape and performance. The way that we're showing spheres of influence, the way that we're showing encounters. Right out of the gate, the map view is a completely different animal from what it was in the original Kerbal Space Program. The iconography of the map view is so much easier to parse, and it actually gives you more information than the old map view. I've been surprised by how much prettier everything looks. Specifically, the parts really result in some pretty impressive creations. One way that I can tell the game's ready for early access is that we can't stop playing it. Like, we spend all day working on this thing, so you'd think we'd be tired of it. But instead, we've had to set up a new internal Slack channel to keep track of all the creations everybody's making in their free time. We have 4 launch pads at KSC so that when multiplayer comes online, people will be able to launch simultaneously from the same base.
We're doing it.
We've got 2 runways, and both runways are very long, with nothing at the end of the runway to run into. There's a launch tower next to the rocket, and the launch tower's position adjusts based on the rocket's dimensions. The new flight HUD is extremely cool. Still has, for example, a go button. You don't have to know the hotkey to launch a vehicle. For the navball cluster, we looked at a bunch of compact flight displays for commercial aircraft. They have what's called tapes. It's a little scale that just scrolls by, giving you a visceral sense of how quickly that number is changing. So if you're falling really quickly, you see the tape going just whizzing by. It really changes the way everything feels. One of my favorite new things is coloring parts. You can either color an entire vehicle, you can color individual parts, different colors. It's crazy how much fun we've been having with this feature. I feel like there's a zillion things like that. We have had a couple of opportunities to put the current part set in the hands of creators who were prominent in the KSP1 community, not least of which is Chris Adderley, who is a part modder from the KSP1 community, who's now on our team. Those people can take what we've created and make things that are shockingly cool.
It's been weird to be known. During the interview process, I mentioned that I had modded KSP, and they asked me what my username was. And then when I mentioned it, they said, "Oh." And there was silence. At Intercept, we spent a lot of time looking at the KSP1 modding scene and trying to identify where we can make things easier and where we can make things more efficient than KSP1 modding. And that could be in the area of mod packaging, mod versioning, and other similar things like that. So we want to work with the community to build good standards that the entire KSP2 modding scene can stand upon. Modder's gonna mod.
And you've never met him in person, correct?
Today is he lives in Vancouver, Canada, and today's gonna be the first time I get to talk to him in person, yeah. I feel like we're already friends, actually, but I don't know how tall he is.
All right, let's go.
Chris.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Finally see you in person.
Let's all look awkwardly at the camera.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to go to space, you've got to start somewhere. So you gotta design a space-worthy vessel, and for that you need the VAB. This is one of the features that we're actually iterating a lot on. It's gonna be available on early access. One of the cool things that I can show you that's not on KSP1 is we've got some procedural parts now. So all of these winglets, you had like a ton of winglets in KSP1. Now you just got a few of them, but you can fine-tune them and make them look and behave exactly the way you want them to. The main difference that you're going to find when playing the early access version of KSP2 with respect to the first early access versions of KSP1 is you're gonna see a more complete game. You're gonna have the whole kerbal lore system to work with. And even if you're a seasoned KSP1 player and you've gone everywhere, I would really invite you to go everywhere again, because we have a new PQS system. PQS stands for Procedural Quad Sphere. It's the system that we use to create the planets. Planets are now a lot more interesting. They look amazing. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but they have a few surprises here and there that you might want to check out.
There's a feature I'm super excited about, which is acceleration under time zoom.
Time zoom.
If you have ever tried to make a trip to Joule or Lathe, or maybe you've used the Xenon engine, you will find that you will initiate that burn and you will go and mow the lawn and maybe do about a few other things, and then maybe you're there. For KSP, you cannot advance time warp while you're accelerating. For KSP2, particularly because of Interstellar waiting in the wings, this is one of those features that gets to pay dividends now in early access. So players who are looking to try those kind of like slow, efficient flights, you won't have to mow the lawn like I did. You'll just be able to advance time warp and get to where you need in a perfectly reasonable amount of time.
Zero.
I think I'm excited about how we are going to simplify some of player interactions with the game itself, like using new tools or using tools that we already have, but now they are more easy. It's less intimidating, so to speak. So we already have these hardcore players that they don't mind going and putting an Excel sheet to get the numbers right. But we also want to get to those new players that are doing this for the first time, and it's like, okay, we got you here. Like, this looks scary, but it's going to be less scary if you use this.
The feedback we don't get that often is when people like things. So if you like something, please let us know.
Please.
It feels very nice.
Yes. We don't get to see the comments like, yeah, this is amazing. Like that palm in your shoulder. It's really nice to get.
I understand that many fans are going to be anxious to have the full game available on release, but KSP2 is a really complex game. Colonies, multiple solar systems, further exploration, life support. It's important that we do this step by step, and we know that the community is liking what we are doing, that they are having fun, and we are doing it on the proper way.
Moving to early access allows us to focus on really the core of the game. When you have a whole suite of features that you're also building upon, you have the tendency to spread yourself rather thin. And when you spread yourself thin, you have the tendency to not bring everything up to a strong quality bar. So early access allows us to really focus on the most important part of the game, the part that cannot fail, the part that enables everything else, and bring it up to a high level of quality. Colonies in Interstellar are two features that exist beyond the MUN, so we have to make sure that this core experience is strong in order to interact with these other systems.
If a system doesn't work well and we're building on it later in development, we want to know earlier rather than later so that we can deliver the best possible Kerbal experience.
One of the groups I'm most excited to get feedback from is people who thought Kerbal was a game for them, tried it, and for whatever reason walked away. We've put a lot of thought into KSP2 for how our tutorials, how our onboarding, how our first-time user experience can welcome people in who have an interest in space and simulation games and putting rockets together and exploring the universe. And so we're really interested in seeing whether or not we've accomplished that. Just like players experienced with KSP1, we will be releasing updates along the way, and we will be adding colonies, Interstellar, new places to explore, new parts to use, new game modes to help drive that experience. Those things are already underway. One thing our players have been very clear about is that they want us to take our time and give them a quality experience with KSP2. So we're making sure that what they will be getting in early access is a strong foundation.
Just saying. Now feed the EJ? Thank you. Why is my tongue so red? Cough drops. Game coder. It is pretty red. Oh my goodness. Burble base program. So what is that screen supposed to be? So it's been decoded. It's the Kraken. The Kraken be lurkin'. So check this out. They released that, and then they released a roadmap for Burble as well. So they're talking about having a strong foundation. So, I mean, guys, if you've been watching the stream at all today, you've probably seen me go over this. But they're going to roll out features through updates with the game periodically. They're going to do old school early access, which, you know, I know. Some people are going to be like, we're not getting a full game. Yeah, sure, whatever. They're basically going to make KSP2 in the same, albeit much more regimented fashion as KSP1, getting that user feedback, right? Deb, where is the code? I don't know. So they're basically going to roll out periodic updates, early access style, which is fine. And from this roadmap, we can see that all of these early access things will culminate in this one right here. That says more launch locations and explore with friends, which is pretty freaking cool. Now, I know, you know, there's going to be skeptical people out there that are like, oh my God, they're going to roll this out. Multiplayer's way down the roadmap. What the heck's that about? Well, okay, hear me out. I've said this a couple of times today on stream already, but I will tell you guys again just to reiterate the point. I missed basically Space News in early hours on Tuesday because I had a meeting. The meeting was with Nate, the creative director for KSP 2. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was doing. Yeah. Yeah, I was talking with Nate about wow, not tell chat wasn't my decision, Blinga. So I was talking to him directly about this, and I asked him about this straight up. He goes, do you have any, we got to the meeting where they're like, what do you think? I'm like, this seems great. And they're like, do you have any questions? And I'm like, yep. Yep, I do. So here's what I asked, because I knew for a fact that people would be wondering about this. Multiplayer is all the way over there. We've seen stuff like that with early access. Oh yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to add a new map. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to add a new level. We're going to add a new biome. Blah, 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 blah. Seen that. Heard that 1,000 freaking times. How do I know that that's not going to happen here? I asked him that straight up. And you know what he told me? He said, look, we have a periodic time frame to release all this content. Okay. So it's going to be done on a reasonable schedule. Right. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of, all right, I get you. And he said, this second part is the really, really, really important part to understand. All of this is being designed in parallel. Meaning they have a development team, like a core development team that's going to focus on this. And then there's kind of core development teams that are focusing on each one of these steps at a time, but also there are developers with specializations for each one of these things that are developing all the time on this. So the base version of Kerbal, this early access one, it has the foundations for multiplayer coded into it already. i.e., multiplayer is something that is designed to be implemented into the game from the start. It's in I'm not saying it right, but it's in the foundation, right? If this is a building, proverbially, like you have first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, fifth floor, right? It's built into the foundation. All this stuff is built into the foundation. It's just going to be developed with an early access model. So it's not like you're going to release one game, right? And then, then just have a huge press conference saying it just works, then release the second game, which is just the multiplayer content that was supposed to be with the first game, even though it's kind of an afterthought. It just works. No, that doesn't work. Don't do that. Yeah. think I can say that's probably not a good idea. So that's why I asked it. Is multiplayer, is that something that you're going to add retroactively, or is it something that's being devved from the start? He said it's being devved from the start. There are versions of multiplayer that are like a really bare bones version that are working right now. That's what he told me, verbatim. This is right from the creative director from KSP2. But they want to develop all this other stuff with community feedback to make sure that they hit it out of the park when the multiplayer expansion comes around. That's perfectly reasonable to me. I think that's fine. That is right from him. No bullcrap. And I had to wait. I had to wait until now to tell you guys this. Dude, I learned this at the beginning of this week. I'm like, oh. You know how hard it's been to not say anything this whole freaking week, man? No, I don't know, Chimp. I don't know what they have planned. 12 Bravo, what's going on? Yeah, Tessa, that sounds about right. I commend your professionalism for not telling us. Hillness, I was like, you know how I was trying to take early nights because I was sick? I would go freaking lie down in my bed and just be there going like, oh my God, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to break this, and then I'm going to break this. Oh, I can't wait to tell the guys about the... That's why you got sick. No, that just happened at the same time. It may have been a little rough week for you, boy. And then I threw my back out last night, so that's good too. I'm sitting here with a damn heating pad because, Tell the dev team this from us. Keep doing the good work. We are counting on them. Blink, I told them that on Tuesday. They said, you know, they're like, what do you think? I'm like, I think people are going to go bananas for this. I think you got a winner right here, man. You had a hard time with just this. Imagine if you knew the future. Yeah, I'd probably just be like, sitting in my freaking garage going, you know? Heat is making your back worse and more inflamed. You need ice to reduce inflammation. I literally heard that from no one ever, Finn. The heat actually helps. It's definitely not as bad as it was this morning. But anyway, yeah, that's the roadmap and the dev trailer. Huge KSP news, guys. You know, we've been waiting for this. You know, it's not a day goes by that I don't hear anything about KSP 2. You know, oh, EJ, when's KSP 2 coming? I don't know. Yes. Thomas, what the... KSP 2, guys, that... Oh, also, early access. You see this one? February 24th, 2023. It's October, November, December, January, February. We have a concrete date for early access for KSP. I probably should have mentioned that. Who did this? Just happy we have a date. Electron, I agree. Sparks is like, I can't make it. Sorry. So, here's the thing. Couple of things that I kind of thought about here for a second. This is straight my opinion. This is not from the private division guys or anything, and I can't really confirm it. Just kind of thinking about it. You guys remember when in 2019? Hey, Hokie. 4 subs, not 4-month resub, not from you, man. She's gifted 4 subs. Thanks, dude. Is the fundraiser still going? Yeah, Kerbal Food Program is going for the rest of the stream. Sure. So that last image has docks. Oh my gosh, it does. Yeah, you're right, Talon. You remember when the game came out in 2019? They released a trailer in 2019 at Gamescom, and they said it was going to come out in 2020. Well, I'll be 100% honest with you, pandemic notwithstanding, right? Like, that makes a lot of sense that it would be ready in 2020, right? You know, had the pandemic not happened, right? That it makes a lot of sense that it would have been ready in 2020 with early access rollout content. That makes perfect sense, actually. Because I remember when they said, oh, it's going to release next year, everyone's like, what? But had the pandemic not happened, that probably would have happened, and we probably would have had had it roll out, right? So, you know, because the pandemic happened, everybody went home, then everybody was remote, now everybody's back. Like, they can finally, you know, pull the trigger on getting to that early access point, which makes a lot of sense. But that's just a personal theory. I don't know for sure. Oh no, KSP 2 release might mess with me playing Hogwarts Legacy. Again, the footage they showed at East in 2020 looked somewhat far along. I agree. Hey, what did you think of the early access announcement? Pretty good. Hey, it's Mick. Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing.
Yo, Metroid. $100 for Kerbal Food Program. Nice. We're at $1,800. Yeah, Sniper, that's also a good point. Yep. Glad to see you're feeling better. Just hopped up on cough syrup and Sudafed, Jarrus. I'm getting over it though. I'm getting over it. Opinion. Had Star Theory done their job, it may have been released in 2020 early access. Yeah, Red. You might be right. I don't know what happened there, dude. I don't know what happened there. And at this point, I'm too afraid to ask.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things.
Burnock, more like Burnock. That was 500. Am I doing it right? Yeah? Are you staying hydrated? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Thanks, Ernok. Ernok, you could say that Kerbal Food Program is for the shorties. It's for the shorties. You know, for the shorties. Bring in the poo-poo, bring in the doo-doo. I say you, who the kid say thank you. It's for the shorties. Yeah. I heard a new noise. What was that noise? That noise was my notifier, the temporary notifier.
Go and throttle up.
Shuttle Discovery, also high. Also high. That noise was for Kerbal Food Program. I'm working with Private Division for a charity stream for a charity stream today. Kerbal Food Program is basically it's basically there to support a charity called No Kid Hungry. It's basically a charity that's devoted to making sure that, you know, fighting child hunger. That's kind of important. It's for the shoulders, y'all. 61215 Avenue. What? 61215 Avenue. What? Yeah, so I'm working with Private Division for it. It's called Kerbal Food Program. And the charity is called No Kid Hungry. Now, I don't, you know, that's kind of not my style. You know, let's try new things. You guys have been pretty good about it, and you know, like that's good, man. Feed them kids. You know, like that Michael Jackson. Not Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan meme. Frick them kids. No. Feed them kids.
He said, let me one from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. That's right, I did, boy. Damn right, I did.
Spread your wings and fly. I'm also a fan of food. So kids should be too. Yeah, me too. So, yeah, I have a temporary notifier, and that we choose to go to the moon because the moon is made of cheese, and we're gonna feed the kids with moon cheese. You just got your voice back. Goes and tries to ruin it. Yeah. Yeah.
Congratulations, you're marrying a big hunk of meat. Now that I don't have my brain, I don't even know what that means.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Show the relativity post and the replies below. Why would I do that when I could show you Daniel Ricciardo's helmet for the Coda race? For the Formula One Coda race, that's Danny Ricciardo's helmet. This man needs to stay in Formula One. Yep.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things.
Button pressed. Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Is that a damn cougar? That's it. There's a goddamn cougar in the car. Yeah, the cougar just following my every move. Yeah, he's looking at you. Feels good to go fast again. You know, please don't try and snort these Lucky Charms. Thanks, Hokey. It's missing an eagle screech? No, it's got a dang cougar. I want to go fast. That's awesome. Yeah, Tan, that's right. $154 from the Hokey. That's right. Oh, yeah. No, I love eating in the Middle Ages with sticks. No, thanks. No, thanks. No, thank you. I'll use a fork, but that's in the kitchen, so, no harm, no foul. That's awesome. That's an awesome helmet. All right, Relativity. Okay, Relativity. Let's see what they're up to today for Spec News. Spec News. If this space is great. All right. We're spinning up a big something at our new HQ. Oh, funny how that works. It's almost like we were talking about that the other day. Look under the coming soon text. You didn't say the magic word. Please! Has anybody in this thread said please? I just said Jurassic. Please? I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Send it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. There. It's sent. We can't take it back. I'm doing it. Nope. Nope. It's there. It's there. Man, I hope. I mean, maybe. Maybe something will come of it. Who knows? It's been liked. You can't go back. Hey, Peter. Diarrhea. Anyway. Moving on. It's been like you can't go back. Okay. So, I wonder what Relativity actually is working on there. Like, is there any more? Is there any more? Trevor did a thing here. Stop. I'm holding iced tea. Relativity is typing. How borked would you be if they replied to you with something big? Nobody in that thread said please. I mean, Trevor's the one that came the closest because he understood that. He understood the thing, you know. That scene is please. Yeah, well. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I hate this hacker crap to Relativity. What, Zeppelin? I know the quote. My guess is that they will reveal an updated Terran R. That's my guess. Yep. It looks like a Merlin-sized engine. Yeah, maybe. So, okay, 12. You completed your bachelor's degree. After I fix my resume, I'm applying for a position at Kansas City International. Cool. Isn't it clear they're making a Tyrannosaurus rocket, or they're cloning dinosaurs? What if they're making Zerglings? That's a Zerglin, Lester. Smaller type of Zerg. But I don't know. Oh, shoot. Spared no expense. Aviation management. I'm pretty excited. Right on, dude. Give me the code. You didn't say the magic word. I mean, I'm guessing they want us to say please or something. Like, as long as they don't make xenomorphs, then we'd all be screwed. How are xenomorphs better than zerglings? Abra, cadabra, abracadabra bee, abracadabra man. Good reference, gods. Zerg is better than a xenomorph. Xenomorphs are sexier. That's what's better. That boy ain't right, I tell you what. Oh. I've heard that before. It's still confused. And somebody brought up Winterside. He brought up the NIDS. Ain't nobody want the NIDS. No one wants the NIDS. What? No. Stop it. Stop. Chat. Book. Here is the book on Xenomorph fanfiction. We are just going to take that book, close it, and open up a different book. Nope. Next. Here, chat, look at this. Look.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Look. Salut. Spasiba. Thank you for the sub, man. Keys? Oh. Yeah? Ooh, love jangly keys. Jingle, jangle, jangle.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Tiangong! Wait a minute. I'm noticing a pattern here. Tiangong and Salyut. Are space stations subbing to my channel or something? Okay, so if that's the case, we have Tiangong, we have Salyut. Where's Mir? Okay. We need Almaz. Okay. International Space Station, Skylab.
Discovery, go at Discovery, go at throttle.
Who is that? Who is this?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Oh my god. Alright. Xeon gifted a sub there too. Oh hey, I found this down on the sofa. Oh, thank you. I'll take that bit. Good. Oh my goodness. So we have Salyut, Tiangong, Skylab, Mir. And then Xeon you sent it to a space. Oh, you want to try to send it to a space station name. You gifted 2 subs there. Thanks, man.
Discovery, go at
Fruity.
throttle up.
Fruity Ka is actually not a space station, but Fruity, we still love you. And your fruity goodness. Not currently, but soon. I don't think anybody has plans to launch a space station named Fruit. Hey, Kentab. Oh, jeez. Look at all these bits. What am I gonna do with all these bits? Oh, Oh, the Sun Temple. You've already given a lot. Oh gosh, I can't look at all these bits that I can't hold. Hillis, you're naming your next space station fruit. No, it has to be Fruitica. That's important. Throttle Junkie with the bits, and then MacB with a 22-month resub.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
It's the only way. You should program and launch a new space station in KSP in honor of Fruity. Oh god. I can't even get one rocket into space. Better name for a giant space station? Your mom. I wouldn't be able to make a space station big enough, Jared. Hey guys, you know that SLS has a launch date? Our next Artemis 1 launch attempt is on... Oh my god, that's the subs. Access gifted 10 subs. Thank you. Still waiting for the Wario laugh from when you started the 59. You said scrub date wrong. No, I said shut up wrong. Wait, what are my values? Our next Artemis 1 launch attempt is on November 14th. Years of teamwork and preparation H have led to this moment. Follow NASA ground system teams that put the SLS rocket and NASA Orion spacecraft together piece by piece. Sweet. Sweet. Rollout is scheduled, I think, for the 4th, if I'm understanding that right. You have values? Since when? No, I don't. That's why I was asking. 14th is a Monday, and it's at 12:07 a.m. No. 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 Why? Oh, that sucks so much, dude. Arctic, thank you for the sub. Oh, that sucks. Why would you do this? Why would you do it to me? That is right in the middle of my weekend. That's like working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and your boss calls you in Saturday at 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and it's like, I'm just gonna need you to go ahead and come in on Saturday. Yeah. You're welcome, but also that's a fat L. Yeah. Why are you complaining? You like space. Yeah, I like space, and space occupies easily over more than like 80% of my week. I notice that if space ends up occupying more than 80% of my week, my life starts to fall apart. You get a 100% chance of a scrub on a Monday. So, Rage, what you're telling me is that SLS is going to have a case of the Mondays? Uh-oh. Sounds like someone's got a case of the Mondays. You watching Coda at the moment? No. No. I have the live timing up. No, if I take Tuesday off, Alex, they're going to switch it to Tuesday. Don't you understand? That's how this works. Have a different day off. I switched to taking Mondays off because everybody was launching on a Tuesday. Don't you guys remember this? Oh, God. I am good at dealing with people. Hey, Mab, KSP2. Hyper. Leclerc is the fastest right now from what I can see. And then Battery Voltas is in third.
Go at throttle up.
And then I want to go fast in fourth. Didn't you used to take Thursdays off at one point? Drummer, the last time I took Thursdays off routinely was in 2013. KSP, more like Kerbal Food Program, help feed them hungry kids. We should. You take days off? Not anymore, I don't. Rage with the 15-montha. Thank you very much, dear champ. Really appreciate it. Happy 2013! Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Arctic, I see you have hit the charity button. EJ's helping private division developers raise money for the No Kid Hungry charity, aka Kerbal Food Program. We're making sure the younglings have snacks. Now everyone's launching on Mondays. It happens, Arctic. Not Arctic. It happens, Alex. Also, hi, Arctic. Space doesn't have a day off. Of course, it's space. There's the sun. It's always daytime near the sun. Of course it doesn't have a day off. Because the sun doesn't have days. The sun just is. It's true. Just launch at night. From the sun? That's... No. International Space Station, you did too many identical purchases all together and your bank blocked your card. RIP ISS. Oh my god. That's so funny. Thank you. Thank you so much, whoever you are. That's hilarious, dude. I thought that was great. Still getting over being sick. Eric Johnson, Sun Administration. Gorthon, all I need to do is snap my fingers and the sun goes out. That's what the SA stands for.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Oh, Deadbringer gifted International Space Station a sub. Now we're good. Now we're good. Now we're good. Thanos? No. No, I don't need some stupid glove to make snappy powers, okay? Yeah, it's on rails, Thomas. Thanos too? Do it. Snap.
We choose to go to the moon and
hey, Talon.
do the other things.
Thank you very much. What was that? Who pinged it? I don't even know what that noise was. I think it pinged the Tilify on somewhere else. Either that or I misclicked. Whatever. Talon, thank you very much. Okay, so you want me to snap my fingers, huh? Okay. All right, here goes nothing. Hold on to your butts. What did I do? What did I do? You turned off the stream. You turned off the... No, put it back on. Put the stream back on. We're back. And we have the combination. Schlotkin. Go back to the golf course and work on your putts. Someone call the Navy. You have the number for the Navy. We can't call in the Navy. Anyway, more space news. So, what is this stuff that you've been linking up about with ULA's patents here? Let's see. So, check this out, guys. ULA filed a patent for a fairing that has floaty arms attached to it. No, not the Navy. No, seriously, take a look at this. Like, okay, seriously.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things.
Vinius with $20. To the people that put 5/8 copper into the half copper fittings box And the 5-inch ducting into the 6-inch box. I hope you step on a Lego every morning for the rest of your life. Can relate. Speaking of that, did I see your tip nation? Your donation? Hibbit? When? When and where? And how? I didn't, man. I don't see anything popping up. So it seems like ULA has floats for the fairing. Oh, hello. What do we got here?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
And the... I see it. It says the kids love this one. Spaceballs the flamethrower. That must have been the thing that popped through when I tried to switch the scenes. The kids love this one. Thanks, Hibbit. Hardscape, 27 months. All right. So, floaty fairings with floats attached to them. Oh, I thought that said something else. So this will basically float the fairing and then they could just pull it back with a boat. So the fairing will land in the water and then it would...
choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things.
And as these floats get near the water line of the fairing, it'll flip the fairing over automatically and then they tow the fairing back. Floating? Why would they sink their own fairing?
We choose to go to the moon
Jeez,
in this
guys.
decade and do the other things.
So it can float. All right. Sounds good to me. Interesting. So looks like ULA is also trying to do fairing reuse as well. I don't hate that. Novus, what is this? Oh. I'll check it in a second. I need this for just This is a really nice picture. I like this picture a lot. This is really good. That picture, you know what? I don't hate what's going on. Just if you'll just excuse me, I'll just that, you know what? I really like this picture. Never looked better. Yeah. We have hey, dude, look at this picture. That's pretty. Anyway, only 25 midnight until the launch of Artemis 1. I am an astronaut just like you, except I fly for Artemis or Formula 1. Yep. Yeah, we like Lockheed. Lockheed's cool. That's pretty cool. That's pretty dope. Question, KSP2, are you going to play through career or are you going to do your own thing, if that makes sense? Alleviate? I don't know. I'm going to play it by ear. I'm going to play it the way we... You know what? Like, okay. If I had to put it into words, I'm going to play KSP2 like I played KSP1. We're not starting with launch pads. I'm not starting that. Launch pads is fun to make in KSP1. I don't know if they're going to be fun to make in KSP2. Maybe that won't be fun. I mean, there are a lot of people I know it's not fun. Guess what? It's fun for me, so piss off. All right? But, dude, with colony building and stuff, like... I can play cities in Kerbal on other planets. Like, EJ missed a nice launch window. You missed the nice launch window. That was the whole joke. That's why I needed him, but I didn't sell it good enough, did I? Novus, they're doing that on purpose, aren't they? They're doing that on purpose, aren't they? Yeah, me too, Talon. Yeah. Oh, neat. I'm off Tuesday. I need to know if there are a bunch of nice comments in that tweet. It's important. All right. Wait, why is it important to you, Primo? I would do something if, the mouse decided to, Because you love silly internet jokes. Yeah, no, Synergy is just breaking my mouse again. I appreciate the Andy Dufresne meme. Oh, wow. That's great. I love that when that does that. Nah, Brimo, there's no nice, nothing. This is just full of people that have no idea what they're talking about. Except for that person. Fiery knows what's good. Not happening. There's rain in the forecast. Allegedly. This is great.
We
choose to go to the moon.
This decade and do the other thing.
Not because there's easy, but because the moon's made of cheese. Is it still leaking? What a disappointment. Person that calls himself Space Watcher. That's great. Oh, man. Dude, we could make content out of this for days. We could make content out of this for a long time. But I'm assuming that that's not really why people come here. Also, though, it would be nice to get some popcorn from time to time and go diving in, you know. Did everyone pronounce decade like that back then? The Supreme Court has routinely reaffirmed that the American public are reasonable people. Mrs. Brimash will be watching you. Remember, Brimo, we were never conquered by the British. Please, no, React streamers are awful. Wisp, there's a reason why I don't do it. Yeah. When you eat too much burger. Alleviate, I've been having some really bad problems with mouse lag today, so I'm having trouble getting people's last. Don't know if you heard, rumors are that the FIA have downgraded Red Bull to a procedural breach and that their interpretation was correct. Oh, it was a procedural breach. A procedure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what they call that? They got a word for that. You know what it's called, Alleviate? It's called cheating. It's called cheating. Yeah. I wonder how much that costs, Matt. I'm not saying that. Yeah, the new Hassan Minaj. Hassan Minaj stand-up on Netflix is pretty funny, man. It's pretty good. This is cyberbullying! How did Red Bull cheat? Was it the beads again? No, it's not a chess match, man. Don't bring that up, Ken. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, chess is ruined. Ruined. It's ruined. It's freaking ruined. I can't play it anymore. It's so bad. Oh my God. Anyway. Yeah, so Alleviate, here's what happened. Red Bull spent too much money. They definitely got caught. The FIA said, hey, you got caught. And guess what? They spent more money on making sure the FIA said, oh, yeah, no, you didn't get caught. Seriously. Remember the espresso machine? That is not our chief engineer. He is the guy that makes the espresso. No, he cannot be no, we are not cheating. Okay, well, how much do you pay your espresso man? He makes a really good espresso. We pay him $350,000 a year. That's a lot for the guy that makes the coffee. No, you do not understand. It is espresso. It is not coffee. What is the matter with you? Seriously. That's how that panned out. Only I didn't think it was Red Bull that was going to do it, but whatever. Oh. We're at $2,600. That's just over 50% of the fake goal that you created. Nice. That's exactly why the FAA has to punish them harshly. Yeah, and they didn't. They've downgraded them to a procedural violation. Oh, okay. So Red Bull paid off the FAA. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened here. How's it not that? How's it not that? How's it not that? You know what? I'm playing F1 Manager tomorrow. I've decided. The catering bill is one of the things the FIA said Red Bull breached over. Oh my God, I called it. No way, Tessa. No way, dude. No way. Are you serious? It was the catering bill? Oh God, I'm a freaking genius. Yes. Oh, can you feel that, buddy? Can you feel it, Captain Compost? No way. You've got to be kidding me. What's catering? Yes! Dude, I called it. I knew it. I knew someone would launder the money in the catering bill. I called that from a mile away. Oh, man. Man, that feels good to be right. Holy crap. Bro, you boy. EJ Speedrun destroying his voice again. Oh, my God. The tweet in that article, though. I can't see it. The mouse isn't working. There we go. Okay, the mouse is working. We note the findings by the FIA of minor overspend breaches of financial regulations with surprise and disappointment. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't believe that. No, not that one. The total one above it. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. F1, Total Wolf ready to go over cost cap if Red Bull gets away with just a fine. He declared that Mercedes will pay all the fines to get back on top. Remember when Christian said that Toto is a finance guy? A new villain is coming in 2023. Of course, Mark will destroy everybody. Dude, I can't believe that. Yeah, Ford Joe, I want to see something sus always. I can't believe I called it. I said that in 2019, man. In 2019, I freaking called it. Oh, I'm really not happy about being right about that, but also just work the fines into your budget. Literally. Dude, I told you the spending cap would be stupid. Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. That's so goddamn funny. It's so crap. It's so crap. Yeah, they literally got away with it. They got away with it. They bought a championship, dude. They bought a championship, man. They bought one. They bought a championship. We just all thought it would be Ferrari getting caught. Dude, I was convinced. Ineos is ready to push $1 billion to bring Mercedes to the top. Dude, I said this, man. I said that this would make it worse, not better. But the rumors that Max could lose his world title in 2021, for example, are complete nonsense. The past has shown that even extreme violations of the FIA regulations were punished very mildly by the FIA. So what's the incentive to not cheat? Dude, everyone's cooking the books. Everyone's cooking the books. Red Bull is the one that got caught. Red Bull, write that down. Write that down. Yeah, no, Novus, it's ridiculous, man. It's freaking ridiculous. Go read the last line of the article. All right. All right. Last line of the article. The financial penalties mean nothing. Something like a reduction in next season's cap to make it hurt. Teams are still waiting for the FIA to reveal the penalty that both teams would have to serve for breaching the cost cap. What were they thinking? What were you thinking? Who thought that was a good idea? What is this? I still didn't even get through the ULA patent stuff. Sorry, up one line. Meanwhile, Zach Brown, CEO of McLaren, wrote a letter to the FIA calling out the team for cheating and suggesting a sporting penalty. I like Zach. Zach's cool. Makes great music, too. Toto's sitting in the back of the garage watching his drivers qualify first and second on hards next year. Hey, Brain Freeze, what's going on, man? Oh my god, that's funny. Dude, Bond. We're going to do what's right. I don't care. Oh look, the FIA caught me cheating. Oh look, how much did I spend extra? I spent $1 billion. What are you gonna do? Fine me for $1 billion more? It doesn't matter. I won the championship and made $6 billion. Stupid. They're dumb. Bring me Max's helmet. I want it on a plinth so I can put it in my house, so next to my constructors championship trophies. What is that, Forge? His face should be on the center screen behind you. You know what's also funny? Feeding hungry kids the no kid hungry way. That's a good point, Deadbringer. Donate now. Charity stream. Make sure that kids aren't hungry. Kerbal food program. Type charity in the chat. Exclamation point charity. Do what you want. Thank you for the segue, Deadbringer. I had to bring it back in. All right, anyway. So we got November 14th for SLS. What else do we have here? I have some... Okay, so there's some Blorgen patents right there that we can check out. We'll check out the Blorgen patents. Port Canaveral has a new crane. They bought another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Another one. Please see. How many kids does that catering bill feed? How many kids does the catering bill feed? Oh, man. SLS, LLL, SSS, SSSL, L. I like L. I like L. L is cool. Yeah. Yeah, L is pretty sweet. There's SL, and then there's LSSS. I mean, SSS is just SRBX. Dude, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. No, it's just like, nah. Please zoom in on the screen where the guy is pointing the finger. I'll go back to that in a second. What is this? The guy is pointing the finger. What's he pointing at? What the hell? I'm sorry, it's pretty funny. Oh, I could make a joke. I could make a joke. This airplane looks like it's from 2035. I hate myself. I hate myself so much for making that joke. I hate myself so much. I hate myself so much. No. I'm not explaining it. I'm not explaining it. It sucks. That joke's terrible. Can we go back to SLS evolvability, please? Explain. The plane looks like... Why are you making me do this? The plane looks like something from the future. Okay?
Discovery.
It looks like something from the future. See, look, guy with happy family or something. And he's trying to watch Artemis 1 launch. Damn it! To be 100% fair, yeah, see, look, to be 100% fair, also,
Discovery.
There's an Ariane 6 launching in the background as well. JI9, thank you for the 2 months resub, and Bird Dog with the tier 248. Thank you very much. Oh, why did I make that joke? I love SLS. Why would I do it? Oh, God. You're saying we are on Artemis 12 in 2035, right? Yeah. Honestly, that plane is ugly. Cool. Something a little sus from SNC. Okay, maybe let's try it like not being loud. Let's try not being loud. I also have to blow my nose. Ugh. It's okay. I have Chroma Cola. Oh, man. No, that was doing the Meatwad impression. Okay, what's going on from SNC? Let's see. That one has a payload bay. Did you finish the ULA fairing stuff? I did. I went through the ULA fairing stuff. That one has a payload bay. We've seen that one before. Okay. First superhighway to space. That's their life module. They're comparing habitable volumes here. The middle one has an abort system. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, it's got crew on it. Provides additional visiting vehicle operation. Yeah, the life modules, man. Dude, look at the expandables that Sierra Space is coming up with. Look at the comparison of habitable volume. All right. You see these guys over here? The Boeing MPLMs? Those are the shuttle cargo containers. Those things are not small. Okay? Here, I'll show you. The MPLM, the multi-purpose logistic module, where the space shuttle's cargo containers. Here, check this out. That's the size of one of those things. Not exactly small. One of these expandable Sierra Nevada life modules equals 5 of those. Wow. That's pretty cool. You can see rollouts on the back of DC300. What do these mother truckers have planned, dude? What the heck do these guys have planned? Can you...
Discovery, go at throttle.
Almaz! Yes! Yes! Complete the set! Okay, better. Hell yeah. What do these guys have planned? What are you doing? X37, but for Geo. Can you imagine? This thing can contract into a module that's the size of these. That's the size of one of these. Can you imagine a Starship could deliver like 5 or 6 of these things into space at once? Oh, there's the node module. Planned milestones.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Complete second CRS-2 mission on DC-100-1. Awarded first DC-200 crew mission. Yeah, right, Victor? Yeah, it's crazy. What can it take to Geo? I'm not sure. Did they buy the scraps of Bigelow? I think Bigelow's patents got nationalized after Bigelow folded for Transhab, and Sierra borrowed the idea. It's public domain. Of course you can. Deadbringer, 45 months. Thanks, man. First non-NASA mission, successful DC-200 crew, space station open for business by 2027. All right, let's see what else we got here. Sierra was working on life before Bigelow folded, so it must have borrowed from Transhab, or it's their own design. Can you please be in a state that's closer to me? Oh no, Aqualex, during Spaceport America, dude, I talked to some guys that work at Sierra. Yeah. Sierra Space, they made Sierra Space to step up their game because investors saw that the commercial market is potentially very profitable if you make a really good vehicle. So, oh yeah, you're not wrong. Was that not a game company? I don't think Sierra Space was a game company. Sierra definitely was a game company. Go to page 7. Yeah. Yeah, the Shooting Star, man. Shooting Star is awesome. That's such a good idea. Yeah, DC-300. I remember this. Hey, I remember you. Just like old times. Also, Dream Chasers and geostationary transfer. Satellite servicing, guys. Has to be. I don't hate anything that's going on in any of these pictures. Look at how big the life module is. That's not small, man. Wowzers. Oh, I want to see this thing fly. Please. Please. Please fly. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Chell. Yes. 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 Questions? What are we looking at? It's a PDF about Dream Chaser and kind of Sierra Space's plans in the future. That's pretty awesome. Anyway. All right. So we went through Cursed SLS. I kind of want this one right here. I want Triple L, but instead of 4 shuttle engines out here, we need an engine section that has like 8 RS-68s on either side. Actually, no, it was 6. 7. Let's make it 7. Why not? We need SLS needs an octaweb. Okay? Falcon 9 style. With 7 RS-68s in either side. And then 4 shuttle engines in the center. Then this would be really nice. The heck is that thing on the right? It's a Trident. Send in a question. That was to... No. No, I'm good, man. Seems dangerous, man. All right. What else do we have from these patents? Seal for gimbling and or fixed rocket engine nozzles and associated methods. That's... Is this Blorgen? This is Blorgen. What are they up to? Oh, hello. Interesting. What are they trying to do with this? It's a mechanical shield for the engine when the thing is being TVC'd. What are shuttle engines? SR-25s? No. SR-25s are a very, very nice firearm. RS-25s are SLS motors. Technically, Nox, if you want to really be super technical, space shuttle engines are called SSMEs, space shuttle mains. The RS-25s that are on SLS are converted SSMEs. The reason why they're called RS-25s is because RS-25D, if you really want to be technical, is the motors that will roll out for SLS. Later versions of SLS will have RS-25Es. Turkey feathers for rocket engines. Yeah, quite literally. I'm just not sure what they're trying to accomplish with that. I'm not talking down on it. I see exactly what it's doing. It's actually really cool. Probably reuse if I had to get it right. E. Okay, cool. What's this other one? The White Room thing, Thomas. This is another ULA patent here. Let's go over here. I just like looking at the pictures. Yep. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. ULA's crew access arm at Slick 41 is on rails. It can elevate. The White Room can move up and down. It's an elevator. Engine heat shield that isn't a thermal blanket. Yep. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish, but I know we're trying to raise money for charity. Yeah. Why do they have the crew access arm open for Vulcan cargo though? I'm a nerd, not a super nerd yet. Nox, stick around here for a little while. I can change that. Last minute load. Yeah, must be for late loading. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's how it's implemented. It's implemented like this, guys. Yeah, that crew access arm is on rails. It can actually elevate up and down. Yeah. It's kind of weird that they... Is this patent new? Like... Yep. Yeah, that's what it can do. Do you see something strange here? No, not the cursed rockets photo. Yep. 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 It's just interesting that there's a lot of different types of rockets here. Now, the patent is from a few years ago, but I found it interesting. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Right on. Sweet. All right. So, all right. So, guys, there's actually a new trailer for Satisfactory Update 7. I know it's kind of all about KSP hype today, but I figure we'd check out the Update 7 trailer. So, it's about 10 minutes long. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. All right.
Hi, hey, hello, good morning. My name is Snood. I'm one of the community managers at Coffee Stain Studios, and welcome to another video with me in it, I guess. Today we're going to be talking about what you can expect to see from us for the rest of this year, as well as what's coming up in the next update. So, ooh, exciting. All right. It's been a busy year, and while you may not have seen too much new content from us this year, there's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes. So I just want to quickly catch you up. So if you've seen any of our recent streams or YouTube videos, you may know that we've shifted development of the game towards leaving early access and finalizing the game for 1.0. This means that all decisions we're taking regarding development of the game prioritize this goal. And in the past, we sort of focused on purely on developing towards the next major update, but now our attention is sort of divided between, finishing content for the future release of the game, as well as whatever content we intend to release along the way, such as update 6 and 7. As of right now, this is what we're currently working on. So since the launch of update 5 last year, we've been working on content intended to be part of the final release of the game. This is new content that we haven't shown off yet and won't show off until the final release of the game. And this includes, but is not limited to, sort of what the functionality of those items that you can pick up in the world is, and Sam and that stuff, and a narrative to be told along with the existing gameplay. The narrative, by the way, is not going to take the center stage or anything like that. It's going to be told sort of on the sidelines of the main game, because Satisfactory is first and foremost a factory building sandbox. While working on this, we're also working on releasing another smaller update this year that we refer to as Update 7. And yes, you heard that right. We're planning to release this update this year, so more on that in a bit. We're also working on the map itself. There's still a bunch of work left when it comes to finishing up Massage to ABB, and some of these changes may or may not impact your factories with some, new grown vegetation. We've done this dance before. There will be no new biomes added to the game, but we are planning on removing an area called Paradise Island, because it is right on the border of the map and it's kind of close to the kill plane, and we don't plan to add anything there anyway. So since it's a bit enticing to build there and it's a bit weird with it being so close to the kill plane, we feel that it's probably for the better if we just take it out behind the shed. Another thing of note is that we've decided to revamp the red bamboo fields that were previously marked as being close to finish, so expect some mild to significant changes to foliage and landscape in that area. I've supplied an updated version of the planned map changes we're making, so if you're interested in that, please check the description. And it is yet to be determined sort of when these new world updates will be released, so we'll see. There are several system overhauls and performance improvements we are currently working on continuously along with everything else that's going on. For the most part, these are released alongside the regular updates of the game, but occasionally we made a standalone patches where we wanted to test something with them, or we wanted your feedback on something. So, but yeah, for the most part, every update we release contain a number of fixes for performance and multiplayer anyways, so they tend to go into those. And lastly, we're also working on dedicated server support. At the moment, dedicated server support is still experimental and it is available, but there's still a lot of work left for them. Similar to the previously mentioned track, dedicated server improvements tend to be nestled into other updates for the most part. For the overall production of the game, we're quite happy with how things are going, but we don't really know exactly when the game will be fully finished, as we're still trying to figure out exactly what a feature-complete Satisfactory will consist of. So now that we've gone over the overall work that's going on, let's dive into Update 7 specifically.
Yes.
So Update 7 is going to be another small update. In fact, it's going to be even smaller than Update 6. There are a few reasons for this. It's partly because we want to get some changes into the game sooner rather than later, so we can get some feedback from y'all, so we can keep iterating on it going forward, but also because of some overall scheduling reasons. The plan is to release this update on experimental in November and subsequently patch it up so it's ready to release on the early access branch before the end of this year. What exactly this update will contain fluctuates a little bit because the production window for this update is pretty short, so it's hard to say, exactly what will be ready in time for this update. It sort of boils down to what we can manage to get done within the time frame. But let's go through a couple of things that we know today will be in Update 7. So, something that's been highly requested by you all is the addition of multiple game modes for Satisfactory. This is something that we've confirmed in the past that we want to include, and in Update 7 we plan to make an initial release of this. Now, there's a long list of requested game modes on our QA site, some more likely to happen than others, so I thought I'd take a moment to address a couple of them. One of the most highly requested game modes is Creative Mode. This is something that we intend to add to the game eventually, but not until we're closer to the final release, as we still sort of need to collect feedback regarding the balancing of the game, and we feel that if we introduce a creative mode, it will sort of muddy the waters and potentially get conflicting feedback from most of the player base. So creative mode will come, just not until 1.0 probably. Another popular request is some form of peaceful mode where creatures won't attack the player, and this is going to be available in Update 7. We might extend this a bit in the future, but for this release we're just going to make it so that you can switch off creature aggression essentially. For now, peaceful mode will be the only mode included in this update, but there's more coming in the future. Other often requested modes include being able to set daytime hours, god mode, no fall damage, start with everything unlocked, not losing inventory on death, the list kind of goes on, and I can't really say at this point in time which ones will be implemented or not, but there are a lot of them that are on our radar, so yeah. Game modes will support settings that are both persistent, i.e. you configure them before you start a new save file, and settings that can be set for the play session. So, remember the talk we had before the launch of Update 6, where I mentioned that we might change how overclocking works in the game? And then at the last second, we decided not to do that for Update 6. Will we be doing that for Update 7? No, but seriously, there is going to be a slight change to overclocking in Update 7. We think. We know. We're still kind of working on this, so I can't give a real update on this at this very moment, because like I said, things are fluctuating a little bit. However, one change we do know we intend to make for overclocking in Update 7 is how overclocking works for power generators. At the moment, overclocking power generators does not affect the fuel to power ratio. Both the fuel burn rate and the power output are increased proportionally, meaning fuel to power follows like a linear formula when overclocking. However, their operating rate does not. So when overclocking power, you get a mismatch between these two values. So power generators do what we refer to internally as following a linear formula in a stupid way. Mark made sure to tell you that, okay? In Update 7, their operating rate is going to match their power output. It's silly that they don't, and it's just unnecessarily confusing. It's one of those things that we've been wanting to fix for a long time, but we just haven't been able to get around to it until now. With this change, we're also making an adjustment to the nuclear power plant's water requirement. So currently, nuclear power plants require 300 cubic meters of water per minute at 100%, which would become 750 at 250%. Quick math. Which is impossible to deliver with the current pipes, essentially. So we'll be reducing the water to 240 or lower at 100% in the future. This change shouldn't break any existing power setups that you may have. At worst, you'll be delivering too much water to your power plants. So, yay. Another change we're making is regarding the coupons and the Awesome Sync. So in the Awesome Sync, there are now 2 tracks that are used for syncing items. One is for the regular parts of the game, and the other is for organic data capsules crafted from alien protein. This means that there will be a difference in return on effort between the regular parts that you sync and the organic data capsules.
Cool.
Giving you another incentive sort of for dealing with the local fauna. So regardless of how many points you've synced in the Awesome Sync by now, you'll still get a fair number of coupons for the capsules since their points accumulate on their own track. In the future, we're also planning on rebalancing the coupon costs for the Awesome Shop in general. There's also a couple of quality of life improvements coming in this update, with the most significant being that we've improved sort of how conveyor belt building works, and we've implemented so that snapping to walls and foundations will automatically switch to the wall mount. And drumroll, we've added ceiling mounts for conveyor belts. Exciting times, all right?
Oh, thank
I don't know
God.
why I'm downplaying that feature, because it is kind of sweet, actually. I also want to mention that I
Yes.
think I said in the last video
Yes.
that we were planning on
Yes.
releasing a couple of more updates to creatures in Update 7. Spoke too soon, because, yeah, that will likely not happen.
How could
It
you
will
just
probably
pass the
happen later
buck
down the
on
line.
that?
It's partly because there were some dependencies or something in the work that goes into the world changes I mentioned previously. So we'll see when those creature changes make it in. There'll also be a couple of bug fixes and
dropping that?
performance improvements coming in Update 7 as usual. But apart from that, these are sort of the things that you can sort of expect in this update. You know, there might be one or two more
Hey,
features
Nightmare.
added if we have time, but
What's up, man?
you know, that's it for the most part. So yeah, I just want to kind of set expectations here. This is a small update. And lastly, I want to mention a little bit something about Fixmas, our seasonal event that we run at the end of the year. A lot of folks have asked us recently if we're doing Fixmas this year as well, and the answer is yes, we are. But because this update is coming so close to the end of the year, we'll most likely be so wrapped up with that, so we won't be able to make like any new additions to Fixmas this time around. So this year's seasonal event will pretty much be a rerun of last year's Fixmas, but I think it's still going to be pretty exciting. And on that note, we're going to round off this video. Hopefully you feel informed about many things. You know, there'll be more videos coming up, keeping you up to speed regarding the work that goes into Update 7. So hit that old subscribe button if you want. But, you know, that's up to you, though. You know, you're your own castle. I don't want you to feel like I'm pressuring you or anything like that. You know, take your time, think it over. You know, I'll love you regardless of your decision. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye.
Yeah, Nightmare. The vlog format's actually really cool. It really works for Coffee Stain, dude. Good stuff. Dude. Hanging conveyor belts. Nice. Nice. You need charming developers, though? Or you could hire a community manager that's really good at dealing with people. I have people skills. I'm good at dealing with people. Don't you understand that? The heck is wrong with you people? What do you mean, no? I believe you have my stapler. No, no. No, that going to set the building on fire. Excuse me, senor. May I speak to you, please? I ordered a Mai Tai and you brought me a peanut colada and I said, no salt. No salt. I could put strip line in the guacamole. I'll call the Board of Health and have this place condemned. I couldn't deal with it. There were big grains of salt. Big grains of salt. Do you have any ammo for that stapler? Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I think that's everything, dudes. It has been a nutso freaking day. I'm actually tired, man. I put a lot of effort into the stream today, man. Oh man, that was hard to find, man. I just got this thing, man. Okay. I think I got everything. There's some NSF vids. No salt. No salt. Here's me turning up at the start of the 10th hour, ready to be entertained. All right, well let's check out what's going on with NSF. Let's see. Oh yeah, they removed the tanks from 39 here. Let's see. Do you know what doesn't take much effort? Participating in Kerbal Food Program. Do you want to feed hungry kids? Well, now you can do that. If you type !charity in chat, you will help me, who's helping Private Division, with Kerbal Food Program. Kerbal Food Program is a fundraiser for a nonprofit called No Kid Hungry. It's a charity that is used to make sure that kids have good meals to eat. In Private Division, and I were working with them for the day. This whole stream, we'll have the Tiltify link up, and you can help feed kids. Doesn't take a lot of effort. Thank you, Hilmus. You ever host a PBS fundraiser? You're a natural. I have chat reminding me to segue to talk about that, but anyway. 100% natural. Yeah. Did work in sales. I can sell you guys on an idea. You could say that I could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman wearing white gloves. Tell you what, chat. I could take a good look at my rocket by sticking my head up a rocket motor, but I'd rather take Elon's word for it. No, it's got to be an aerospike. I saw you were watching KSP2 updates earlier today. I missed the segment. Anything interesting? Yeah. Yeah, stream chat. Yeah. Let's just say that game's gonna occupy a good bit of my time. Sell me this pen.
We choose to
Write
go to the
something down.
moon in this decade.
Nightmare!
Do the other thing.
Nightmare! Yes! Yes! We choose to go to the moon to bring back the cheese to feed hungry kids. Not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Meh, Chevy. I want this truck. Can I have that? Can I have that truck? What kind of tank is that? It's a methane tank, Bandit. Curious that SpaceX took a bunch of gigantic methane tanks from 39A, which is actually way over here, and they brought them back to the turning basin to be shipped out somewhere. I don't know where they're going.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Nightmare converted a prime sub to a tier 1 sub. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. That's pretty rad, dude. Thank you. You want the Peterbilt? Yeah, I mean, look at that thing, dude. I mean, look at this thing. It's truck. It has the torques. It's trucks. It's corn. It has the juice. Oh, this is getting on the van. Now there are 2 of them. We love trucks. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 They actually moved a bunch of them here. Oh, hey. I know that guy. I know that guy. That's a VAB right there. Is that for a new pad? I don't know where they're going, Sun Temple, to be honest. There's 39B. There's the truck. That's not Bob. That's Dave. Hello there. This is getting out of hand. Now there are 3 of them. Did SpaceX build those tanks or NASA? I think these came from Boca Chica, Bandit, if I'm remembering correctly. It's curious that SpaceX would move them to the turning basin, though. I don't understand. I don't understand this. Wait, Reuters has its little own HUD at the media press site? Yeah. So does ABC, so does NBC, so does CBS, so does NSF. True story. SpaceX Ferds. That's a charity stream, huh? We have a 1 tank, a 2 tanks, a 3 tanks. No clue where they're going. Oh. Oh. Blorgen Faring Transport. That is a barge with some shipping containers on top. Well, tanks for nothing. Yep, payload adapter. No, they're not welded, they're just stacked. Huh. 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 How does he get that barge into position? With the tug, I'm actually curious how that's going to happen. I guess the tug. Oh, yeah, okay, push it. All right. Yep, that's a new Glen PAF. Yeah, see, that's what I thought that thing was. Well, you do a thing. Yep. Up and now they turn the barge around. Oh, there's 2 tugboats. Oh, there's 2 tugboats. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Dude, look at this. Look at this thing. See what they did right there? That's why it's called the turning basin. Don't swim in it. There's gators in there. I'm not kidding. Oh, look at it. Just get out of the way. Oh, look at it. Just a little tugboat. You're just going to get it out of the way. Now you just got to push it up against it. There you go. Thomas, what's the port? Numa? To be honest, it's cool seeing this area getting used again. I agree. Should still use it. Should still be delivering shuttle external tanks. Changed my mind. Port of Houma, Louisiana. Okay. Blue, did I say it wrong? Yeah, how do you say it? Huma? Hugema? Ligma? Yeah, second it. Yeah, I'll second that. Homa. How? Ligma? I want that truck. I don't care if it's a Chevy. I want that one right there. Oh, yeah, that's very inappropriate, G. How dare you? How dare you? I wonder what's in that thing. Bearing, right? That's what they said. That's a big container. Look at it next to the freaking trailer. Holy crap. 7-meter fairing half in there. That's a wall. What's this? Oh yeah, they're the test fairings. Yeah, yep. Cool. This input lag on the mouses is ridiculous. I gotta figure out why it's doing this. Cool. So that's coming from KSC, the KSC cameras at NASA. Both of these fairing halves. Damn! I think we are up to date. Believe it or not. Yeah. I think we're up to date. Really wish, the mouse would work. Thank you. Did you watch the S25 and S24 rollout video from them? I have not watched S25. Let's watch this one. Oh, wow. More mouse lag. Man, I really, really wish it wouldn't do that. Why? All right, so this footage is coming from our buddies over at NSF. This is Nick and Sweeney and the NSF robots. Is your CPU okay? Yeah, it's fine. Currently reading 38C, 1% load. That's actually really freaking cold for the CPU, considering it's a 4.8 gig clock on a hex core. But, yeah, Starship. Never cold enough. Yeah, you ain't wrong, dude. Ship QD access platform extended. Dude, look at the people walking around. Look at the people. Did you see that? Hold on. Did you see that? You see the people walking around? Watch right up in here. Okay? Look, there's people walking around on it. See those little specks? Yeah, there you go. Freaking look like ants. Did you restart Synergy already? Only like 4 or 5 times today, Alex. Yeah, look. Oh, crap. We even got tiny people. Is he lifting the squid? Yep. Congratulations, Chad. It's a squid. Yeah, and then, yep, ship 25. Oh, I'm doing it. We haven't done this in forever. Bam, 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 bam. Bum. Get the frick up. Bum, 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 bum. Elon says, get the frick up. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Starship, flap your wings. Yeah. Yeah, I said flap your wings. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Sorry. It works. I don't know why. But I can't play the damn song. Don't do that again. I will do that every time we see something like this. Because that's not normal. Alright? That ain't normal. That boy ain't right. That ship ain't right, boy. I tell you what. Nice sky, though. Talon, I have to wake up every day and remind myself that literally we're making Shuttle 2.0. I'm with you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm with you. Still my favorite cover. Bum, 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 bum. Get the frick up. Bum, 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 bum. So you see those bricks right there, chat? Each one of those bricks is 22,000 pounds. It's 10,000 kilos. Each one of those bricks. There's 8 of them on either side. Note that Ship 25 tiles are like fully complete. Gunther approves of these shirts. Well, I tell you that those shirts are the those shirts are the best shirts that I've ever seen. Yes, they're very, very good. Yeah, see that he's smiling from the shirts there. That's very good. Your money is on Booter 9, Ship 25. Booter 9? Epilepsy warning. Oh, that's sick. We know this because it says so. Yeah, elementary school, my dear Watson. IMO, Booter 8 is going to be moved back to the production site for eternal storage or scrapping. Don't mind me, just taking my rocket for a walk. Light pollution, Jim? Yep, found the astronomer. All I want is the ability to make SPMTs in KSP2. That's all I want. That's all I want. Bum, 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 bum. You're so gonna break that game, dude. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna break that game in half. I probably should go tell Nate that. I should probably shoot him an email and be like, yo, I swear I'm not trying to make you guys look bad. I want to break the trash out of their game, and I want to do it out of love. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. We doing more KSP later? Perhaps. I think we're gonna do racing, dude. Racing.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Biggie. 4 years. Thanks, man. Challenge accepted. You'd probably get a kick out of that, Panther. Yeah. You should be hired as a bug tester. Eric Johnson, yeah, quality testing. When is that thing gonna fly? December is when we think it's gonna fly. That one, Jonas, that's Ship 25, fellas. Ship 24 is over there. It's like 100 yards, 100 meters that way for you guys. For the Euros. Yes, the Euros. Yes, it's only 100 meters over there. That's 330 feet. Yeah. I know you don't like measuring using extremities. Yeah, there's 2 of them. As far as I can tell, I mean, Thomas, correct me if I'm wrong. 24 and 25 are very similar. They seem to be the exact same design. Seem to be. 100? Why is that like half the width of my country? Because you're small. Why should he pay EJ if he's doing the job for free anyway? I mean, because that would be a really nice thing to do, Infy. That'd be a really nice and noble thing to do because EJ has a mortgage now. And, you know, the kids are going hungry. And you know what? Not my kids, the kids. You know what? Like, I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence. But I can't feed on the powerless when my cup's already overfilled. I'm going hungry. Going hungry. Yeah. So you should... That was some kid, probably. Or Eddie Vedder. And
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Kerbal Food Program! Ha-ha! Kerbal Food Program. Okay, wait, we gotta pay you? You're a real wordsmith. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence. It might be Pluto, yeah. But I can't feed on the powerless when my cup's already overfilled. Going hungry, yeah. This is the content that he subbed for? All right. Neo. Did they ever mention robotics for KSP 2? You would wear the Gunther shirt. Oh, yeah, yeah. Guys, if you type !! charity in chat, you can actually help kids from going hungry with Kerbal Food Program. You can do that. You can do that. Seriously, do it. We've raised today. We're up over. Yeah, we're almost at. Man, we're at like $2,600 for Kerbal Food Program. Kerbal Food Program is a drive that Private Division started. That we're finishing. Got him. No, the private division people. I'm sorry. You guys are cool. I like you. No. Where are you going? Damn it. Engine Uber, 17-month resub. Ka-ching! Are you still going to stream KSP 1 after KSP 2 comes out? Yeah, probably. Rhino's like, yeah, I'm leaving. No, you got seriously. It's cool. You know, I said I'd help out. You know, and you guys delivered. I'm proud of you. And you know, we get to make sure some kids don't go hungry. Going hungry. It cut it out, didn't it? Yep. Yeah, it did. I'm glad they didn't go with Hungry Kids Space Program. Might have given the wrong idea. Yeah. Funny train pick from last week. I'm going hungry. Yeah. Do. Does it say student driver written on the job? That's awesome. Oh, there's ship 24. Steve, that's a different one than the one that rolled out. The one that rolled out is over there. Oh. Yep, that's not how you spell that. There you go. Yeah, you got it. Can I just oh. Thanks, Elon. Very cool. Hey, there it is.
And do the other thing.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate it. Son, right on. Jib and Jab also supporting. You want me to sing more Temple of the Dog?
Discovery.
I'll do that. I'll do that for Kerbal Food Program. I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, Clayton, it's pretty rad, isn't it? Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm a bit hyped for early access too. We all are, Pythos. Yeah, gee, December for that thing. They have other songs. Wait, they do? I don't think they do. I think that was a one-off thing. So they get clearance for launch. They don't have an FAA launch license, Kem. Elon said December, dude. They have a whole album, I think. Don't tell me that. I don't want to know that. Start soon? Yeah. December, dude. February then. When the FAA
choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing.
Hip Hop Anonymous 10 via Tiltify. Thanks, man. When the FAA says they're good to go, that's when I'll believe it. But then again, December is pretty reasonable to finish up the launch license paperwork from what I understand. But then again, I got that from a guy. You know a guy. Why don't you call Mr. Ocean's parole officer? I think he's in violation of his parole. 24 is your birthday? Wait, your birthday's on Christmas, silly? Oh, wait, no, it's not. Yeah, that's different. FAA and reasonable timing. Just shut up. Just shut up. You know a guy. The first song on that album is Say Hello to Heaven, which you've probably heard also. Right on. Hey, boss, I'm planning on being sick for 7 days straight, starting on February 23rd. Yeah, yep. Well, I legit thought that was Pearl Jam, not Temple of the Dog. Yeah, yep. Yeah, see, there's the second one. You could say that because Ship 24 and Ship 25 are both at the launch site that this is getting out of hand. Now there are 2 of them. Yeah, prequel memes, the gift that keeps on giving. This is sus, really sus. No, you. Got him. Why is that on? Never mind. Yeah, they actually welded the doors shut, Hillness, which is strange. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of rubber ducks. Yeah. Yes, that's right, Forge. Yes. Why is it black? Well, those are the thermal tiles, Clayton. Those are the thermal tiles. That's the I don't want to fry coming back down from space tiles. No, yeah, see, look. There's 25 and there's 20. They literally did do this at the same time, didn't they? Can you believe that? Yeah, the quick disconnect. Yeah, they were working on, dude. Can we just back this up a little bit? Wait, and you know what I just realized? They were doing this, and a Falcon 9 was launching at the same time. This is when Hotbird 13 went up. We were watching this earlier this week. They were stacking 24.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing.
Shitty-o! $30. Hello from Philly. How you doing? They were stacking 20, or putting 25 on the test stand, stacking 24, and launching a Falcon 9, all at the same time. And I'm streaming for charity. I'm streaming and raising money for charity. No, it is, Forge. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's right, silly. I'm going hungry, Yep. Is it bad if I can make it so the noise gate thinks I am not a person? When's the next Falcon Heavy scheduled for? Halloween. Alucard, do you guys have Halloween over there? If so, what do you call it? Is it Halloween? Is that how you say it? Maybe the noise gate your nose knows you're from the Institute? Yeah? Yeah, well maybe... Yeah. Yeah, maybe that too. No, you. Oh, what? Why would you say that? Why would you? Updated B-52 interior? Well, in the words of Derek, I'll be dipped. Look at that. That's nice. Turing test now. Hey, chat. This statement is false. Yeah, now what? Indeed, you do have Halloween there. Right on. Grab Shark. That statement is false. Like tears in the rain. Oh, it's such a good movie. Such a good movie. Dude, I like this. A B-52 flying with PFDs and MFDs. I'm sorry, chat. I'm afraid I can't do that. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye. Wouldn't it be funny if after he said that, it played the Windows sign-off noise? Dung, 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 dung. Cool. Cool. All right. All right, dudes. Oh, come on! I just finished watching 2010. No.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things.
42 from Evan. Thank you very much. 42. You know, 42 is a good number, right? Don't forget to bring a towel. But 154 is a better number. Okay. You guys, I'm haunted by that freaking number. Dude, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. You will, dude, it happened to me, Owens. We started making the joke, and then I just started noticing that 154 occurs everywhere. Everywhere. It is very strange. Ooh. Something just piqued my interest here. If my mouse decides to, you know, work. Hey, fellas. Estes Rockets posted this. Look at this. No way. Oh. Oh, no. Okay. All right. Yep. I think that might have to be the first rocket that we make in the shop. Yep. Yeah, I know. I have to. Illness? Charity? You know, did you guys know that when SpaceX first started launching Falcon 9, they were expendable? And you know, I always thought that was very wasteful. You know, children could have eaten that rocket, but no, they chose to waste it. So you know what we're trying to do now? You know what we're trying to do now? We're trying to raise money for hungry kids. That's what we're trying to do. Look at the charity amount. No. Forge, my mouse is lagging out because Synergy is terrible today. I don't know what's going on. I literally can't move my mouse over there. My mouse is just, see if I can switch the scene. Yep. Still over there, just doing something. Are you gonna work or? Fun fact: the new crane will be able to do up to 154 tons. All right, one of the mouses unlagged. What's up? Okay, like, hey, cool. You know what would be really cool, computers? If I want to move the mouse over there. It'd be really cool if the mouse went over there. That would be really handy. That's what the mouse is there for. Like I move the mouse over there. It's supposed to go over there, but no. Yeah, just freaking float around. Whatever. Yeah, just enjoy your freaking weekend. All right, that's good. Great. Yep. Nope. Can't click on chat. Can't open that. Yep. No. Oh. One of them unlagged. There we go. $2,700. Blow on the laser. It's not that, Hired. It's not that. It's Synergy. Synergy is being a piece of caca. I don't know what changed. Brimo, you didn't do anything with the mouse, did you? Look, it just won't make a connection. This is LAN, actually, believe it or not. Synergy uses local area network. So even if I disable it, so you disable it, it's like all fine and dandy now, but now I can't go over there. So hey, let's enable it. Oh, nope, laggy piece of crap. Gotta clean the trackball. Too many porn tabs open. Bro. Tabs. Bro, I don't want to use up too much bandwidth, okay? I keep mine in a research folder. Oh, look, it's working now. Here, check it out. Store it local. Store it local. There's no bandwidth like LAN bandwidth, baby. Which is why I'm really confused, because my mouses don't work right now because they're using the LAN. Yeah. Yeah, see that, Wiley? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Look at that. Shuttles with the gear down. Look at that. Look at the tail. Tail's wide open. Tail's up in the air. Wide open. Look at that. Look at verticated. It's great. Look at that. On wheels, dude. On wheels. No, that one's that. It's research, okay? Now that the mouse is working, we're gonna change the subject. So this is Sawyer Merritt. You know what? I'll follow this guy. Sawyer's been putting out good content lately. Let's see. Ah! It's everywhere. I told you it's everywhere. First new Jeep electric vehicle revealed. The Avenger EV has front-wheel drive, $249 miles of range. Europe only? I don't know what that means, Plutonium. I'm not sure. Have you tried restarting the computers? I can't, cool boy. I've been streaming. I hope that's four-wheel drive and not front-wheel drive. A front-wheel drive Jeep is just silly. Probably a Renault. Oh, almost forgot. Drove past this super small airport and saw the weirdest plane ever. The wings attached over the top. Like the body, little bit coming out over the top, wings attached to that. Also had this huge bubble windows on the back. You saw PBY. You saw PBY. You saw Catalina. Yeah, you saw Catalina, dude. Here. Still, you see one of those? That's the what, dude. It's a PBY. That's a seaplane. Yeah, it's a seaplane, but it has deployable landing gear too. PBYs were used in World War II for anti-submarine. It's anti-submarine and maritime reconnaissance. Really, really good plane. I'm wrong. Google says it's front-wheel drive. A front-wheel drive Jeep. Yeah. PBYs are like the Goonies of World War II planes. You either the people that love it, like love it, but most people are like, yeah, all right. Aqualux, what's that? The Jeep Avenger 4x4 EV concept previews dual motor variant. It's gonna be that means they'll eventually make it into a 4x4. The Jeep Compass and Renegade were front-wheel drive. Yeah, because those were real popular. Bill. Where's Richard Teague when we need him? Dude, if he saw that, he would be like, yeah, that's a Jeep, right? Okay. Used to fly Grumman Goose, my favorite aircraft. Dude, Grumman Goose. Nice. That's cool. Yeah, PBYs can do anything. Those planes are used all over the place. Like even today, silly, they're used everywhere because they made so many of them during World War II. There's a surplus of them. I mean, and if you think about what it does, dude, it's a seaplane that can land on runways too if you want. Like, and dude, the thing can even deploy its wheels and roll out. You could drive one up onto a boat ramp if you really want to. Yeah, they're really, really cool. There's not a lot of planes that can do that nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they're really, really cool planes. The only thing you need to know is in 40 years, nobody's going to be restoring and hot rodding these cars. Yep, that's right. I feel like everyone's making front-wheel drive electric trains. Even Ford's EV150 has CV shafts on the rear wheels. Front-wheel drive electric drivetrains, even Ford's F-150. Wait, FWG. All right, okay, all right. We need to get some naming nomenclature correctly. If it's four-wheel drive, it's 4WD. If it's front-wheel drive, it's FWD. Okay? I'd love to have a Catalina. It's my dream. Yeah, Jason, I was standing next to one at Pima a couple years back. It was in pieces. But the people were like, yeah, it's junk, but we're not throwing it away. I'm like, I don't blame you on that one. I was saying front wheel drive. Oh, you're talking about a transverse mounted electric motor. Yeah, I don't think anybody's doing longitudinal electric. I don't think anyone's done that. Actually, when we bought Brimo's car the other day, and freaking there was a lightning in the showroom, and I was like, Bree, you don't mind if I like get underneath this thing and start looking around, right? Like, and I asked the dealer, I'm like, can I like look at that thing? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. I'm like, can I like get under it and look at it? I was looking at the rear end. How they have it set up is, dude, you know what's strange? The rear suspension on an F-150 Lightning looks like a Honda Civic suspension from the 90s. They have these big honking trailing arms that are like, it's a one-piece cast aluminum thing that goes from the frame rail to the hub. And then there's a CV joint that goes to the engine housing. The engine is where the gas tank should be on like a regular truck. It's really strange. The trailing arms are huge, though. Like, dude, they had to be at least a meter. They had to be at least 3 feet. They were 3 feet long. They were freaking gigantic. A one-piece cast aluminum trailing arm. I'm like, okay. It's kind of beefy, and I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate it. That's pretty cool. Any chance for a Go Baby Go with a rocket launching for merch? PBR? I could do that. Yeah, we could do that. When's your first EV? They can't afford that. Yeah, they can't afford that. The only way I'm getting an EV is if I make one for a price. They don't have leafs. No, it's a trailing arm, goalie. It's a big trailing arm. Yeah, it's very strange, dude. That's how old BMWs work. Yeah, but Bill, I'm telling you, the trailing arm is huge, dude. Like, I couldn't believe the beef on it. EV F40? You're going to take all the things that make an F40 good and make it worse. Okay. You're looking at the OEM diagrams on it? Yeah. Electric Coronet? No. I mean, you think all the drivetrains are for front-wheel drive power packs. The front and rear drive are the same, but yeah. Honking pieces. I saw a teardown. 2 separate AC systems with 20 plus Schrader valves along with tons of water piping for all the electrics. Yeah, the coolant, man. Those electric cars have huge radiators on them. Big, very big. Hey, Capybara. Long time no see, man. How are you? I should just make my own EV out of an S10 or something, like the dudes in the 90s. I remember those. Dude, a Ford Ranger? That would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty freaking sweet. What's that, Forge? All right, we're on the subject of cars, so we should probably jump into racing. We got Formula cars at Coda tonight. Racing is going to be sick. Stick around for it. Trust me, it's going to be fun. Even when I crash, it's still going to be fun. You got the shop floor to do it now. Let me finish the junk that I'm already working on, silly, and then we'll talk. I saw a mouse crawling out of the Coronet today, too. Not cool. Not cool, bro. All right, what is this? GM has unveiled the 2024 GMC Sierra EV. 400-mile range, 750 horsepower, 754. 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, 800-volt arc, 350 kilowatt-hour charging, tows 9,300 pounds. Okay. 1,300-pound payload. All right, so we got a... Okay. Not bad. Can power a home for 21 days. Starts at 50. Starts at 52. Starts at 52. The F-150 Lightning Red Wagon. Starts at 52. Dude, that's... For an 800 horsepower truck, that's not too bad. And for once, Chevy went a little bit conservative with their new EV design, so it doesn't look like Dookie. Those 9,300 pounds, 10 miles. Yeah, I wonder, is the 400-mile range with no payload? Watch at your own risk. This one hurt. Don't mind that. I don't, dude, I don't care. That's fine. I don't know.
Well, this is something I bet you'd never expect to see. This is our 1965 Ford F100, and I'm about to plug it into an EV charging station. That's right. This truck was just converted to a full electric powertrain, and in this video, I'm
kind of cool. I kind of dig it.
This is pretty freaking cool. I'm really excited about this. Now, a little bit.
Show me. Okay. Okay. You guys running a lift kit? That's not an F100. That's not an F100. That unless it's an F100 4x4, in which case it's got super light duty axles. Ford did make that. They started making that in 1959.
50, and the engine was from an F like 550 or something dump truck. It was a 300.
Oh wait, hold on. He said it.
Poking through. The chassis is from an F250, and the engine.
Am I good or am I good? Am I good? Come on. I've never seen this video before in my life.
Was from an F like 550 or something dump truck. It was a 300 inline 6-cylinder engine. We did a bunch of videos, but
no, the 300 inline 6 is one of the best Ford engines ever made.
And we recently gave this truck over to the great folks over at Legacy EV and 101 Motors in Arizona. And
it's got bullet holes in it. Yeah, that's not an F100 at all. It's an F250. It's an F250 that the cab got rusted out. So they put... What the hell? It's an F250, so the cab got rusted out, and some guy took an F100 cab and put it on there because his cab rusted out. Also, wrong bed. That is not a 1965 F100 bed. That's a 1960 F100 bed. That is definitely not the right bed. Look at the accent lines, boys. They don't line up at all. That's not the right bed. That's a bed from a 3rd gen.
Apart from these little stickers, there's basically nothing that we did to improve the looks of this truck, except the folks over at 101 Motors were a little cheeky, and they put the badging E100 in blue there, which is kind of...
E100's a van. The E100's a van. That's only Kev. I love that it timed you for that. E100 is a... That's definitely the Econoline. That's a van. Okay. All right. I like it.
Now everyone in the comments is
you were warned.
Oh, you ruined a classic, and we'll get to that later.
Nah, not at all. I believe it or not, I don't really care that it's EV swapped. I think that's kind of cool. It's just this is not an F100. It's Frankenstein. This is like 6 different trucks. All right, let's see. What's under here.
An American battery in an American truck. Looking pretty dumb right now. This is why I hate one takes. Where's the little knob? There.
Bro, it's just a latch. Just pull it up.
And there you have it.
Bloody
so
amateur.
The engine in this truck was pretty tired. It was a 300 inline 6, probably from the 60s.
300 inline 6s do not get tired. It was a perfectly running inline 6. It was a perfect 300 inline 6, wasn't it? Yep. Yeah, it was.
Now those 4.9 Ford straight 6s can go hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of miles between rebuilds, but the one that was in this truck definitely needed a full...
Bill, do you see what I'm seeing? What the frick? What the frick? Are you nuts? Are you crazy? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're gonna die. This thing's a death trap. Hopefully the regen works. Yo, that's a single cylinder master. Yo, you're gonna get killed. Oh my goodness. You're gonna get killed. Oh my good. Those are fuses, guys. Those are fuses. Oh my gosh. Now you see why. Yo, okay, all right. All modern master cylinders on any car, Tesla included, are a dual reservoir master cylinder, okay? So why is that important? Dual reservoir master cylinders have 2 reservoirs in them, okay? And then they're usually, depending on the design, they connect into a proportioning valve that distributes brake fluid to the front and back. The reason why you have 2 reservoirs, okay, is if one has a leak and one goes dry, you can still stop the car. There's a reason why they don't have single reservoir master cylinders anymore. Because if that breaks, you have no brakes. You have nothing. Hopefully, as Bill said, hopefully the regen works. Because you ain't stopping a 6,000-pound truck that's EV swapped, man. That's not happening. I love it. I love it. We have 2020 technology right here. And 1940s technology right here.
Full rebuild. So rather than go that route,
that's awesome. I love it. It just thing's a death trap.
This giant custom fabricated box, and that box actually holds.
I like it. I actually dig it. That's actually kind of cool. Goalie, I kind of like it. Is that bad? I love this thing. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. It's got front leafs. Nice truck. And it's a dude, longitudinal engine. I like that. That's cool. This thing probably boogies, man. Yep. Okay. It looks like a 99 to 04 F250 frame. Yeah. Yeah, I would say that you're probably right. Yeah, that's yeah. Yep. That's cool, man. Dude, somebody put together a sweet little freaking truck. Yo, it's a 65 F250 with a 300 inline 6. And if that chassis is what we think it is, that means it got, oh, dude, that was a nice truck. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a nice truck. No, it's not a 9-inch Cherokee. That's a heavy duty. It's a Sterling? No, it's not a Sterling. Sterlings don't have a drain plug there. The drain plug is on the other side. It's definitely a modern axle, though. I think that's a Dana 60, maybe? Dana 60? Dude, I don't hate this truck. This truck is cool. Oh, that's cool. Very, very classy on the interior. That's cool. Yeah. E100's also a van. Dude, yeah, no, this is cool. Yeah, no, I'm not hating at all. This is sick. All right, send it.
Way faster than it was before, I'm going to tell you that right now. So this truck is still running on drum brakes. They have been rebuilt, but the crazy thing is, it has regenerative braking.
Oh, thank God.
So usually I'd be like, get rid of those drum brakes immediately. But as this truck is set up, you really don't need to use the brakes all that often because of that regen braking.
Okay, it has regen. Cool.
And the cool thing is, you can program exactly how much regen you want, exactly what kind of acceleration curve you want.
But it's got regen. It'll regeneratively. I mean, but how much? I'd be curious to see how much parasitic loss you're gonna get from the kinetic energy going back up through the drivetrain. I'd be interested. There's probably a ton of parasitic loss because you don't have the drive hub. You don't have the electric motors. It's not close to the wheels, right? I would still put discs on it. I'd still, yeah, dude, me too. Oh my goodness, this thing is nuts.
Exactly what kind of torque band you want using the computers in this truck. So if you want a lot of off-throttle regen, you can program that in.
Is it a 44, guys?
You
yeah.
can do that as well. If you want a huge burst of acceleration right off the line, that can happen as well.
Do it.
So basically, however you want the truck to drive is up to you based on a little bit of code. Now you can see as we cruise along here, we've got that little kilowatt meter. So that's the decel, that's the regen in green, and then there's the acceleration in red. And then
nice. That's cool, man. This is cool. This is goalie. I don't hate it. I'm dead serious. I don't hate it. That's actually really neat. Have you seen the EV Humvee? Yes, I have. Yep. Yeah, that thing is pretty cool. Is the kid gonna punch it or what?
In daily traffic than it was before. Now, Andre, I know, is really excited to tell you all the details about this truck, how it came together, show you that full video series. So that's going to be over at TFL Truck. But I just wanted to give you a little sneak behind the curtain at what's been going on with this old E100 now.
Can I? Oh, 2 motors in line. Pretty cool. Yeah, okay, I see it. It's 2 motors in line, so there's no transmission. Is that in the cab? Hold on. Yeah. Oh, all right. All right. All right.
So this
battery's
cab
in the
came
back.
off the frame,
it's
and
where the
they
gas tank
customized
is.
it. They cut a big
Well,
hole.
actually, to be 100% fair, the battery on the gas tank on this truck would have been behind the seat, not between the frame rails. But it's a newer truck chassis, so it's back where the gas tank or the spare tire would be.
Custom some sheet metal up here, but if you look.
Yep. Yep, there's 2 motors in line. There's your coolant loops. Wow. Did I miss a satisfactory video?
There,
yep.
You can see the motors, and you can see how they're hooked up. So you got one in the front, one in the rear there with the high voltage cables going to them, and then you got this little view panel here, which is illuminated.
Are those aren't coolant cables. Those are the coolant cables over there. Those are the high voltage. I was wrong.
You can see powered by Legacy EV 101 motors, and then of course TFL Truck, which I think is cool. Now this panel right here is where the magic happens.
That's cool. That's trick, dude. I actually I like that. That's pretty cool, goalie. The brakes though. The brakes, dude. That's no. Check your last message. Have you seen the converted electrical army Humvee from the YouTuber Jerry Rig Everything? No, I haven't, but I know of it. I haven't watched that series. Actually, you want to know what series I'm into right now? There's a channel that
Hey guys.
was introduced to the other day called Pole Barn Garage. Pole Barn did a build called the Holy Goat. It's a 1970 GTO. Let me show you a picture of it. You guys ever watch like gun YouTube channels and note that there's always that one car that they just shoot up and it it's just a car that's just riddled with bullet holes? Yeah, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Let me find it.
Hey guys.
All right, there we go. That's the video. Here, let's see. Here. Take a look. Yeah, Cherokee. That's dude. Come on, man. You're killing me. Dude, so the car was actually remarkably straight underneath. It was, dude, no rot in the floor. Frame rails are good, so guy restored it. It's like, okay. The heck happened to that? It looks like a lot of 9mm, a lot of 45, some 308 happened to it, maybe. Dude. Freaking runs great. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's the series I've been watching. Guy from Pole Barn did that, and then the project that he's working on right now is a 69 Plymouth Roadrunner, and it's called the Rolled Runner. It's called the Rolled Runner for a reason. Yeah. Look at the floorboards, man. Cherry. Jeez. Holy Roller? No, Poison, it's called it the Holy Goat. Hammond drove it? Yeah. Yeah. No, that car is really straight, that Roadrunner, except for the roof. Don't worry. He's been fixing it. Dude. Guy's he's bending that thing back. Oh my god. All right. That's awesome. Anyway, yeah, Pole Barn Garage. Go check it out. Guys, I think it's time to race. That's enough. We're deep into car territory here. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my racing rig out. Hopefully my back can hold up to this, but we got Formula 3s at COTA tonight in VR. It should be pretty fun. I hope you guys have been enjoying the stream thus far. We're going to keep the Kerbal Food Program stuff going till the end of the stream. So if you do want to tip to Kerbal Food Program, ! Charity in chat, right? And I'll keep the Tiltify link going for the rest of the stream. Did you see Stroll P1 and FP1? Yeah.